Good evening, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples, Gog types of the world. Welcome, everybody, to Pen and Pixels, and welcome, of course, to Talisman Adventures. It is my great pleasure to welcome everybody to the show and to welcome everyone to episode 294 of Pen and Pixels here on Gog, the show that focuses on story and narrative every Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to what we expect is going to be a pretty awesome adventure today as we continue with Talisman Adventures, which is sponsored as always by Pegasus Spiele. So thank you, Pegasus Spiele, and if you haven't already done so, folks, you should consider checking out this awesome, amazing game published by Pegasus Spiele of Talisman Adventures as we continue here with Toads and Diamonds. Before I introduce the crew, let me just remind everybody about ways to support us here on GOG.com. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow us here on GOG. Please check out as well, or make sure to subscribe to us here on GOG.com, and you can get those awesome custom sub badges and emotes and all that good stuff. And if you haven't done so already, please consider as well clicking through to our own channels too, because all of us here, all of the streamers have our own individual channels and Twitters and Patreons and subsystems and all that kind of good stuff. So. And we are here with the full crew, which I must admit I was not actually fully expecting for reasons which will become apparent. But we've got some Talisman Adventures coming to you on the way. So thank you all for being here. And with no further ado, I'm going to unmute myself to let the folks know they're ready to go. I will apologize for interrupting any conversation I might not have been able to hear previously. And then I will unmute them. And then I will bring us over to reveal... That is right. I show you the incredible, the amazing, the astonishing full crew. And I, again, was not expecting the full crew was going to be here for reasons we'll talk about. But we're all here and we are all ready to play some Talisman Adventures for all of you. So I will begin with the person right below here on the column. And that is the amazing and awesome Pyron Jade. We've been talking quite a bit in the crew about accents and about what accents are like, who has them, who doesn't have them, what they sound like. And so Pyron has agreed to do multiple accents today with multiple languages. So she will do at least 10 different language accents at different times. So we're just
she was doing impersonations of everyone earlier. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And also Liam Neeson as Darksaber, as, stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. But in all seriousness, it's great to have Pyron with us. Pyron Jade, welcome. How are you? And who are you playing in this evening's game?
Hello, thank you for the introduction, and hello to all my friends in chat. So
That's
I am playing
9 to go.
I am playing Regina Augusta III tonight, as always for Talisman, who is a warrior sprite. So I'm a little Tinkerbell who likes to hit people in the face. And we're currently in a dungeon, and our biggest problem is crossing a giant hole, and this hole seems to be the biggest problem the group has ever encountered in their life.
Yes.
And I'm very curious where all of this goes.
It's going to be good times, and yes, that is quite true. It is. It has been a very interesting experience dealing with this, as we will see. But it is always a pleasure to have Pyron with us. It is also a pleasure to have one Mr. Darksaber 2K with us. It's good to see you, as always, Saber. Thank you for doing Dashboard and Moobot and all that good stuff. And I have to blame Saber for something because, well, not blame. I mean, because Saber has gotten me back into SnowRunner. That I've been playing occasionally off stream. Obviously, I've been really busy doing writing and a bunch of other stuff, but I've been occasionally doing that, and I got my controller up and functional, and my controller was kind of run out of battery, so I ended up getting a charging dock so that my PS4 controller could work. And all of this happened because I was watching Saber again plow through some snow, which means that at some point Saber and I have to play that game co-op somehow. We have to figure out how to do it, but this game is too good. It's too much. It's
relaxing.
It is. It's
weird.
like truck RPG. It's RPG, the truck game, or truck, the RPG game.
You fall off a road, spin down the mountain. You're just like, I'm not even mad.
Yeah, like
I'm just so
fine.
chill.
It's exactly. You're just like, well, I got to go do that again. Yeah, it's definitely good times. And so it's totally Saber's fault. But no, it is good to see Saber here. Welcome. How you doing, Saber? How's life when you're not otherwise occupied by trying to keep trucks from going off roads? And who are you playing today?
Well, yeah, I managed to drag myself off a snow runner, as people from my channel can attest to. It's pretty much all last week. It's like, I'm going to play another game tomorrow. Next day comes, no, I'm not.
SnowRunner, yay!
Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing some Community Valheim last Saturday with the new update. We may have built sort of Viking Constantinople, one of Heronara pointed out to us afterwards, which was interesting. A bit too close to a troll encampment, though. So within about half an hour, someone's house was flattened and we were trying to bait a troll away. So it's been eventful. But yeah, I've been looking forward to some more Talisman with everyone. And tonight I'll be back with Reginald Shoon, Ghoul, Druid, and Maintainer of Balance. Also, unfortunate Slayer of Bats. It couldn't be avoided, but he sort of owned that situation, I think.
Yeah, like it was either the bats or you, and you know, that was what needed to happen. So
and then there was me and no bats.
And there was there was that was right. As we'll talk about in the recap, part of the adventure, both parts of the adventure didn't go as I expected in opposite directions. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But always a pleasure, of course, to have Darksaber with us. Also, always a pleasure to have the amazing Peripheral Mike back with us again. Mike, who is not only amazing and awesome, but is increasingly, I keep being like, hey Mike, can you do something to fix a video? Can you make a video? Hey Mike, can you do a video? But it's just, you know, as I've always said to my friends and these people, like, if you want me not to come ask you to do stuff, which of course I always try to pay for, then just suck at your job. Like, if you were worse, I wouldn't come back to you. But Mike, as you saw from this amazing intro video, is just really good at it. So anyway, Mike is working, will be working on yet another, like, can you fix this thing for me in a little bit. But when not fixing things for me, Mike, how have you been and how's life for you and who are you playing today?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really good. It's been a busy week and it's only Tuesday. But yeah, I'm more than happy to fix videos and do various bits and pieces, especially for the people that I love and especially for the campaigns that I love as well. So any work that, you know, people want to throw my way, that's absolutely not a problem. Speaking of which, if I can do a slightly shameless plug,
Please.
My latest endeavor has just released. So I recently published a training course on the LinkedIn Learning platform for how to pass a specific certification in software testing. Completely nothing Dungeons and Dragons related. However, as part of this, I've got about 7 tech and soft skill courses on the platform right now. And if you follow me on social media, I'll be releasing them for free over the next week or so.
Wow.
So these are normally drop at about £30, $50 a piece. But all you need to do is just click on a specific link that I'll send out through social media. I can't do them all at once, unfortunately. So I'm going to do like a bit of a promo where I'll just release one a day. And if one takes your fancy, you can click on it and then you can just basically watch it at your leisure. So free training for everybody, basically. But yeah, other than that, there's been a lot of peripheral media stuff happening in the background. There's a redesign going on. There's potential streamage going on soon. There's new video rigs going up soon. So there's lots of stuff. The camera very nicely hides the fact that just behind me here is nothing but stuff and boxes. Like there's no additional room. Darksaber's just hiding everything behind it. Yeah, everything is just a bit of a chaotic mess at the moment, but progress is being made and it's really good, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. I'm also looking forward to getting back into the swing of the boots of Ashflower, the Laywalker assassin, who believes in balance above all things, but occasionally the scales need to be tipped one way or the other. He's also an advocate of social interaction now that he's been spending time with other different bipeds in different cities and hasn't quite gotten the hang of it, but he's getting there.
Yeah, step by step, you're making progress. It is funny too because the watching Mike go through this, where Mike's like, "Yeah, I don't know whether I'm not sure whether I'm feeling Ashflower," and then you're like, "Well, you know, I kind of am feeling Ashflower, maybe." And so it's been interesting. I
have a love-hate relationship with Ashflower.
Yeah,
Like I'll dislike the character. It's not that I'll dislike the character. Truth be told, I don't know if I made the best character for myself, if that makes sense, starting this adventure. However, I've really grown into it. So I'm really kind of embracing some of the weirdness that can come from a non-typical build.
Yeah. Which has been fun to watch. So I don't know if you would have felt that way during the time that you were the one time where you were gone and Saber was rolling and you kept like basically fighting people on either side of a window. You might have come from the other side of that being like, son of a.
I think that went exactly how it was supposed to go.
But anyway, no, it is a great pleasure to have Mike with us, and I'm excited to see what Ashflower does. I am also excited to have, and this is the person that I am, I'm a little surprised, frankly, that we're seeing her. This is dedication that you're seeing from Tasty Chai, because Chai has returned to us, but Chai, you've been busy literally doing things. Do you want to explain what you've been doing?
There we go.
Okay.
I hit the button like 4 times, and so it's like mute, unmute, mute, unmute, mute, unmute. What if I just don't? What if I'm just like, nah, it's cool. No one gets to know.
Yeah, no one. That's true. I mean, listen, that's up to you.
No, I'm teasing. I just thought I would like troll chat a little bit. Thursday, that happened.
Chat, look at it,
Look
marvel in the amazingness of the thing. So
yeah.
So you just you have a baby last week, and you play Talisman this week. Like, how are you doing, Chai? How are you feeling and everything?
I mean, I've been better. Like, I lost most of my blood, but like other than that, I'm okay.
Yeah.
There's a major complication. Most people don't know what this is. So I had a retained placenta, which means that your placenta doesn't come out with the baby like it's supposed to, which means it's essentially an open wound pumping blood constantly onto the floor. So I lost, I think they said at the end, like 2,000 milliliters of blood. And if you see pictures of the day after, I basically look like I had a fight with a vampire and lost. But I'm doing a little bit better now. I'm on couch rest, very strict couch rest. And I'm getting my blood.
Chat? I was like, really? Are you sure? And you're just like, yeah, I think I'm okay. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, luckily, I have the support of a fantastic D&D group, or in this case, Talisman group, who is going to kind of take the reins. So I'm like a side character today, still participating, but like not the spotlight, because right now it's still kind of hard to think. So I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I'm extremely impressed. Congratulations, and I'm also glad that you're okay. And yes, we will. I'm just going to throw out my Muriel as focus of entire adventure that I had planned. No, so we'll make sure to keep it sort of more limited. Speaking of that, who are you playing today? When you are playing, who are you playing?
Yeah, I'm playing Muriel, who is an elven prophet. And very, let's see, where are we just pushing on a wall at this point? Are we digging? I kind of can't remember.
You are digging.
I think we're digging, yeah. And she's not very good at digging, so she's kind of out of her depth at this point, because she's really good at books, but you can't make the books dig. So it'll be weird.
It'll be an interesting experience, but yes, and they're only in this predicament to begin with, as we talked about last time, because they didn't listen to Muriel. They didn't listen to the prophet. If they had listened to the prophet, they wouldn't have had what happened last time, which involved a lot of pits and things like that. But we'll talk about that. It is a pleasure to have Chai with us, and again, congratulations, Chai, and wow, I mean, like, it's seriously good work. And if for any reason, let me just say this publicly, if for any reason you are feeling slightly poorly and you're like, Arv, I don't think I can do this, please tell me and leave and go, and we'll be fine. We'll be okay. Okay. Like, I'm happy to have you with us, but only if it helps you, not if it's,
No, luckily I have a lot of caretakers at the moment, so I think I'll be okay, but I will absolutely let everyone know if I have to peace out. So thank you.
All right. Okay. I appreciate that. Listen, we were talking about the fact that, like, I've seen this happen with my wife twice, and I've been mega impressed twice. And both Chai and Pyron were like, yeah, you just get to a point where you have no other choice. And the men in the call are like, we have no idea that we would die. We would be expired. We would be pining for the fjords. So,
do you want me to share the extra details of this with chat? Because I can. The ones I shared in our D&D chat.
Every
Not
4
my
weeks,
husband.
every 4 weeks, I would just die. Like,
Yeah, like,
I'm
I don't-
sorry, I'm already impressed by women in general. Like every 4 weeks, I'd just be like, nope, I'm out. I'm done. Afterlife for me.
I can't even. So anyway.
Well, I can definitely blow Chat's mind because you're saying that, Arf, but I don't think it's true. So Chat, my labor went so fast, my husband delivered the baby.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
he was breech. He was butt first, and my husband delivered him. So I have every confidence that every man in this chat could step it up if they needed to. If their woman and their baby were in peril, they would take care
That's
of it.
fine. I'm talking about if I was having to give birth to the baby. I'm there for my wife. Yeah, no, that's one thing. But like the thing, yeah. I mean, listen, I've had heart arrhythmia, and that was easier than it would have been to give. But I just yeah. Anyway, I'm incredibly impressed, and thank you and congratulations and all that good stuff. And yes, having said all of that, but I'm glad that everyone, including baby, is safe. When Chai first showed us, the baby was just Baby Yoda-ish, just like I am wisdom, like right here. So I think that now you've produced a super Zen child. That's my prediction. Anyway, it is a great pleasure to have Chai and the whole crew with us. Let us fire up the music and let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session. And I will fire up Goblin's Cave because that's, we're not actually dealing with goblins, but it's a cave. So in our last session, the crew has been sent to figure out why it is that a group of members of the village, specifically the miners of the village, have all been turned into toads. And what has been discovered is that the mine, when the miners were working on it, when they broke through into a cavern that was filled with diamonds, they thought they had found something really awesome and something which would get their town on the map. And that all sounded good until they actually went in there and they started being basically turned into toads, which was not what they had expected, because of the Toad King. The party, when it went down, and it was not easy to get down there was some harrowing experiences with a mine cart, with Reginald being dragged along behind said mine cart, with, multiple other things, with Muriel telling them go left, go right, based on these dead zone prophecy moments that she was having. But when the party finally got down to the cavern, what they discovered was that the Diamond Cavern was indeed the home of the Toad King and his many toad minions. And the Toad King said to the party in very stern tones that the miners had basically taken the diamonds that belonged to the Toad King, and so he turned them all into toads because that's the way it works. But there is a way to solve this problem, and that is that the creatures who had been that got into the cavern, the miners who got into the cavern, were not the only ones to have broken into it. The other ones that broke into it were a series of what apparently seemed to be small lizard-like creatures that the guess is are probably kobolds of some kind, which have been breaking in and yet somehow are not being turned into toads by the Toad King's magic. And so the Toad King basically said, get rid of the interlopers for me. Let's figure out a way that we can get them out. And if you can figure out a way to stop the kobolds from invading, kill them, eliminate them as a threat, then I, the Toad King, will turn the miners back into humans and everybody's happy and we're all good. So the party agreed to do this, and everything seemed to be fine initially when they left, except that they ran into a couple of issues. Now, here's where we get to the part, one of which I thought was going to work, and which didn't, and one of which I didn't think was going to be a big deal, and which was. The part that I thought was going to be a problem was the, and I quote, chamber of bats, where there were a bunch of these vampire bats that I thought were going to be a problem, until Reginald cast a spell known as Gust of Wind, if I'm not mistaken, and basically killed all of the bats, like AoE wiped out the bats completely, to which I was like, okay, I have so much for that obstacle that I thought was a problem. And then the party came to a problem which was evidently an issue, and that is that the party was, from that main chamber of the bats, there were two tunnels. One of the tunnels grew very, very narrow until it was basically too small to navigate. And so the party said, all right, what we have to do is go the other direction. Except in the other direction, the party ended up falling into a pit trap. This became the worst pit trap of all recorded time to have to navigate. No one had a rope left. No one was able to figure out a way to fly across. There were thoughts about maybe throwing one person, except for Regina, who of course could fly across, but Regina sadly cannot, for all of her incredible strength and power, cannot carry over Reginald, Ashflower, and Muriel over to the other side of the pit. It would be a bit of a challenge for this sprite warrior. I love Pyron's reaction. Like, Regina's like, listen, no one's ever tried it. Anyway, so there's no way to get across the pit, or at least not an easy one.
If I gain enough speed, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Like just
if I could just keep it together, yeah. And so the party found itself basically in a bad situation where it can't get to the other side of the pit. And so the party decided instead what it's going to do is try to go back to the passageway that was previously closed over and try to dig. And so Regina, who at this point was digging seemingly devoid of any kind of purpose and identity. In-game, Pyron had lost her internet, so everyone was just like, have Regina do it. So Regina was basically digging away into this area and was making some progress, at which point, right through the hole that was gradually being widened by Regina's digging, they could see several lizard-like creatures, again, presumably kobolds, walking towards the sound of what appears to be walking towards the sound of the digging. And so as we hand things back over to the party, Regina is digging. Reginald and Ashflower and Muriel are right behind her, sort of crouched down watching. And through the hole, they can all see in the room beyond that there is, in fact, what appears to be a kobold, several of them, multiple kobolds, who are walking around, and one of them seems to be walking towards currently the hole that Regina's digging. And so I'm going to hand things back over to the party. What would you like to do as this kobold comes towards the disruptive digging sound?
Just to be sure where we are, the room with this kobold is the one that I had already entered with the statues and stuff?
I believe that's... I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I'm never supposed to get a phone call. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on, I will answer that in a minute.
You're not muted. Oh, he can't hear us. He took off the headphones. Oh, well.
So we're just going to have to talk over whatever private phone conversation I was having on his line. La 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 la.
I'm pretty sure that's right though. That is the room that you were in.
I think so.
Yeah.
So you went into the room, or you went into the room and then came back through the hole, didn't you? And then we went down the corridor.
And then Muriel fell down the hole.
And much blood happened.
And there was a lot of Reginald standing around going, well, I've got nothing. I had literally nothing that could assist.
And there was a lot of me scraping my antlers across the ceiling of this cavern as well. So I think Muriel, you're on the inside of this cavern. Not Muriel, sorry. Regina, you're on the inside of the cavern, and us three are kind of, well, one of us is at least on the other side of the cavern. I can't quite remember who was at the front of the line. I think I might have been at the back.
So
because I thought
So there was this cavern that I was in, like with the statues, and I think there were like 2 or 4 kobolds. And then I came back. We took the other
that's
route.
the room you're in
and,
now.
And now we're opening up the corridor that I could only like squeeze through, so that you can also get in there. That's what I'm doing.
We're basically trying to bash away some of those rocks so we can all get through. And I can turn my antlers sideways so I can get through a tiny spot.
However, as we figured, it's quite noisy.
I think we've lost the element of surprise if one of them's coming over. Unless Regina does this like Liam Neeson-esque sort of like whoop-ah, snap of the neck.
I mean, we established Reginald's got knowledge of kobolds, and they're not the brightest. We could always just confuse
possible.
it.
True.
So I should challenge
We could just
them
go,
to a battle of wits.
we're not here.
You don't see it. Just to go all John Cena, just like... just start waving our hand in front of our face.
It comes around, we're all just standing there like this.
Yeah. it wonders what's going on, and we're like, shut up, it'll see us. So we just end up with a kobold follower, just like, I don't know what's going on. But...
I'm safe now.
Yeah.
What from? Don't know, can't look.
Don't know, but I'm safe. It's like volcano insurance.
Wasn't that a premise for a movie, that was on Netflix and really popular?
Bird Box.
Yes, Bird Box. It's really good. I really liked it.
It seems scary, and I just don't watch scary movies anymore.
I had to watch it. I'm one of those weirdos that won't watch anything that the entire internet tells me to watch. So when every single person on the internet says this movie's really fantastic, I will leave it 3 months and then I will watch it. Just out of spite, really. More than anything, just out of spite and sheer bloody mindedness. But then I'll watch it. So we eventually watched it, and it was actually really good. But I'm glad I gave it that kind of. I'm glad I didn't sort of get caught up in the hyperbole of it, and sort of like get caught up in the motions. Because I've done that before and been sorely disappointed. Watch Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, because I've recommended it that I watched it, and so I watched the extended edition. I went hardcore on it.
That's actually our Christmas/New Year tradition. So we watch Lord of the Rings extended editions on Blu-ray over Christmas, the Christmas break, and over New Year we watch The Hobbit.
That would be the next, but I currently don't find that. Christmas movie is my sister and me watching The Last Unicorn.
Nice. Excellent. That's an excellent choice.
Yeah, I also read the book, and it's amazing how close they came to the book with the movie. It's just an amazing movie. And I was lucky enough to actually watch the Last Unicorn on the big screen at a cinema.
Oh, nice.
I nearly read out Arv's message loud right now, just by
yeah, don't
reflex,
read that. Yeah, no,
it
it's fine.
It was more. I had the combination of the message and just this slump from Arv as it came through.
Yeah, I heard exactly the same thing. Yeah, I had exactly the same thing. So,
I've been watching Star Trek Lower Decks. It's really good. I was skeptical about a Star Trek animated comedy, but they do it really well because Star Trek always takes itself so seriously, except for the odd silly episode. And it's just they've got like the spoofs and the parody, but the references are all like there and well mentioned, and like when they name drop, it makes sense. Like, do the Janeway protocol. Oh my God, you've ejected every child on the ship.
Oh, and now we could do some self-promotion. And for those of you who cannot get enough of us, we're uploading our D&D sessions to YouTube, that I'm putting the link in chat. And also Fleos is doing a D&D podcast version of our previous D&D campaign.
Now
I'm
those
very
are
sorry
solid
for that
actions.
ridiculous long delay. I just will say, chat,
share, and subscribe.
I just will, and yes, definitely do all the things they just said. I will just say, chat, that when you move and you move to a different state, and that means that you have to deal with medical facilities that are different, sometimes things which should seem really simple, like sending someone a typical, standard, yearly, do this every year test, should be easier than having to listen to a 5-minute phone call where they're like, all automated, where it's like, thank you. And would you like to send this? Yes. Thank you. And would you like to blah, blah, blah? Yes. Thank you. Would you? I'm like, send me all of the stuff. Send it everywhere. Send anything you ever need to send me. Send it to me. Shut up. I'm playing Talisman. God damn it. But it wasn't the kind of call I could just be like, click, because they'd be like, we're sorry. Do you not want to receive medical test that you're supposed to get every year? Yeah, it's just like, God. I'm really sorry, chat. I'm sorry, players. So sorry. Believe me. I can't even tell you. Anyway, yeah, exactly, Echo. Send it now. Send it now. Send it. Anyway, it's one of those ones where I just wanted to click yes to all. Like, there's that the movie where Jim Carrey plays God. I can't remember, Bruce Almighty, where there's this one point where he's getting all these prayers from people, and he's just like hit yes to all, just to all prayers, and it screws up the world for a bit because every prayer obviously can't be fulfilled at the same time. So anyway, So anyway, God knows what I just said yes to. Probably they're going to mail me like every test in the history of creation, regardless. Anyway, I'm sorry about all that. So let's get back to good things, normal things, all things that we're doing. Yes. So
being stuck in a tunnel.
You are stuck in a tunnel, and yes, this is the room. I believe, Regina, that this is. I don't know that this is. Yeah, yes, this is the room in there that had the statues. Now, you didn't look very closely at the statues. You just kind of saw that they were there, and then you went back out because you flew in, you saw it, and then you flew back out to talk to your compatriots. But you did. There are statues in this room that you're looking in. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that I saw that they were not like in good shape, but it was like all a bit crumbly and ruiny in there.
Correct.
So that's what I remember from the description.
That's right.
And so now I'm digging the tunnel bigger so that my companions can also come through.
Basically, that's it. That's right.
So, okay, I'll
So
continue digging.
we were confused who was the other side of the hole because the tunnel's only big enough for one person at a time.
No,
So we're
the
single
tunnel
file?
narrows. So basically, as you're in the tunnel, you're all walking along, then it gets
Right.
narrower and narrower, so that the only one then after who could dig is basically the sprite, who is Regina.
Got it.
Once the digging continues, then it might open up to allow other people through. Although I will say that it's going to take a while to do this, because although it is dirt, and Regina is quite strong, of course, and mighty, to widen it enough to allow everyone in is going to take a little while, and it is making noise, which is why this kobold is walking right towards the sound of this.
Fair. That's fair. Does anybody have any explosives?
I mean, I have got shatter.
Ashflower looks at Reginald. You do explodey magical things.
Don't think I could shatter every rock there.
Have you ever tried?
It's sort of a once per thing.
Oh, I see. Sadly, these, and I note to the glowing blue runes upon me, are only good for myself and one other human. And I've spent one of those on Muriel, and I motioned to the very pale-looking prophet who's following behind us at this moment in time.
Which I appreciate, by the way. Yeah, I don't have anything either. I guess I left my explosives in my other magic book. Sorry.
Oh, I see. Well, looks like we're digging feverishly.
So the kobold now has come up to the other side, basically, of the hole, and so you can all see the kind of, I guess, the knees of the kobold, basically. And then, and Regina, are you continuing to dig, even though, so you're digging this hole, and he's on the other side of the hole, which is maybe, I don't know, there's probably a couple of feet, also known as a little less than a meter, of dirt between you and the kobold.
Do I know that he's there?
Yes. Well, certainly the party members saw him coming, so they could have warned you, hey, he's coming. So the question is if you wanted to...
But did they?
I don't know.
I am digging.
Convince him to help us.
Who?
So the kobold
Kobold
digs down
behind you.
and looks...
There's a kobold behind you. Convince him to help us.
I look for the kobold.
So you see him because the kobold's face appears as "Rah!" and kind of falls back and "Rah! Rah!" and begins waving, and now you sword around and yelling at the top of his lungs, and now a bunch of other, you see, creatures start hurrying over. Maybe 5 or 6 more of these.
I shout at him, "Shut up and help us!" I'm trying to intimidate him.
And so the kobold kind of then bends back down, and all of a sudden pokes basically through the hole, pokes a long spear at you, Regina. Now you are missed by this thing because it's kind of a desperate attempt, but it definitely pokes at you and starts yammering, and you hear yammering back and forth. All of you do now hear yammering back and forth and sort of shouting, and there's a great deal of excitement on the other side of this hole in the room right now.
Okay, I grab the spear and I pull hard.
Okay. So you grab the spear and you pull hard. Let me see. How do I want to...
Yeah, either we've got a spear, a new one, and then we can talk, or he's gonna be face first into the wall. So win-win either way.
It's true. Either we get a skill. That's right. Either we get a spear or we get him doing what we said. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to have you make... Yes, I'm going to have you make an athletics test for me, please. And this is going to be brawn that we're looking at. So...
Okay. Oh, if anybody could just remember how to roll the dice, because I forgot.
Oh, hold on.
If only. Do we have a workflow or anything like that?
Let me just see if we have
If only we have the workflow of power.
Do you have the skill?
Yes, I do have the skill.
Then we go down the flowchart to, do you also have a focus in this skill that fits the
No.
situation? In that case,
don't
roll
have a focus.
3d6 plus aspect, which would be brawn here.
Brawn. Okay.
Plus 2. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't
I'm
have
sorry.
to- I don't-
You
no,
do
no,
not
no,
have a
plus
focus.
2
I'm
for
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
So
Forget the plus 2.
3D
Just 3d6 plus the aspect.
3d6 plus aspect it
Yes.
is for me.
And remember that everybody has a light fate, except for me. I have dark fate because I'm that.
Pyron and Mike at least have 2 light fate. Because
That
of
is right.
perk.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I have
Rolling.
5 dark fate. Whew, well, the one
Oh, now
and
he's-
the one. That's So when you make this test, there's a and then the whoever it is, the kobold yanks it back and out of your grasp, and then and starts like yammering at you.
You poked the spear at me first. I'm not even sure why you did it. This is your fault. No. You're not gonna pin this on me. You're not gonna pin this on me. You're not gonna pin this is no.
And then it says to, and it grabs, and then it pokes 2 spears at you. Poke, 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 poke. And
At this point, when there's a moment, I'd like to say something to the kobolds.
sure, you could do that right now. Right now,
prefer
there's a bunch of
yeah.
a sprite and kobolds yelling at each other through a hole, but you can definitely do that if you want.
Okay, so I'm going to try and avoid the spears and obviously Regina as well. And I'm going to try and deceive the kobolds, and I'm going to say something to the effect of how would kobolds react to being barked orders at? Listen, you scum, get us out of this tunnel. I don't know when this collapsed, but you need to get us out of here right now, or I'm going to have your guts.
Okay, so you're attempting to now. Are you attempting to intimidate or deceive?
I need to. I'm attempting to deceive him, but I'm.
But I'm
using
wondering
language
what
that I
because
know
you
would
do
be-
actually want him to help you, don't
that
you?
would be guttural. Yeah. So I want him to help us dig through the wall.
Right, but I'm wondering about the. I mean, because like, you're not saying like, if you help us, I will give you gold and treasure. You actually do want him to do what you're saying, right? So
Yeah.
it sounds like an intimidate check to me, is what I'm saying. I'm not sensing
Well-
the deception part here.
I can reword it.
Yeah, reword it for me.
All right. Let's have a think here.
Look, as a kobold lord myself in disguise, you know, that kind of thing.
Friends, if you were to help us out of this cave, we could potentially help you in other matters as well, such as your problem with the toads and their love of shiny objects.
Now I think this is more like it. All right. So now, as you know, I'm a practicing kobold lord. Okay, so now we go through the flowchart. Do you have the deception skill?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a focus in the skill that would fit this? And this would be, I'm trying to decide between
No.
bluff or fast talk. Probably not, right?
I don't have a focus in the skill, but I do have a bonus die due to my treachery skill.
Okay, so then that would
bonus die
be
to this.
3d6 plus your bonus die plus your aspect, and this would be wits, is what we're looking at here.
Wits. Okay, so 3d6 plus bonus die. Do advanced dice roller. Nope.
You take mining in.
Ignore that one. That was I pressed the
I don't even know what
fudge
that
button
is.
instead of the. I pressed the fudge button instead of the advanced
That's-
dice roller button.
That's a void die.
I was gonna say
That's a void.
you
die,
just
that
vanish
is.
from existence, like.
Yeah, I just. So we're saying 46 plus 3. Wits 3. Yes.
Yes. All right. So, you
Got a double
yeah, that's true actually.
and a 6. I
And
don't
a
know
si-
which one.
yeah,
we're
so that means
classing
you would
as a
actually
Kismet
get
die.
another. I think so. We're dealing with another light fate then that you would get there. So,
Ka-ching.
so you say this, and there's a sort of pause, and then, actually, the one concern now that I think about it. Okay, yeah. So one of them, the one that's been yammering, sort of stops, and
my light fate
calls someone over, and says, and the one comes over, and you see again that you all see the knees of this one that comes over, and someone bends down and you see now the face of a very old-looking kobold with kind of wispy white hair, sort of trailing over his ears and stuff. And he bends down and he says, You here need help? Kobold people? You? It's
We
like
do.
a very,
yes.
very
We
accented
require-
comment.
We require your help to get out of this cave. If you could dig through this part of the cave, then we could leave and potentially help you with the toad problem that you're currently having. Again, if I need to try and deceive him, I will do.
Right. So he, don't need to deceive yet. He says, sacred temple here. You leave now. Go away.
We don't mean to desecrate any sacred space. We don't want to foul anything. We're just trying to get out of this tunnel. We're a bit stuck.
You saying
And-
foul? Foul? You say kobold? Foul? Foul? Kobold?
no,
foul?
No.
You...
No, friend. No, absolutely not. We don't want to hurt your sacred temple. We just want out
hurt?
of this
You
tunnel.
hurt us? Hurt?
Would you help us? We need help.
If you
And I
just
kind
had
of
a
motion
plank,
to the
if
wall.
you just had a plank, that would be wonderful. Just put it through the hole. We take the plank. We leave.
His eyes kind of narrow and he looks in. Plank.
Yeah,
Plank.
long wooden thing that's not a spear.
Spear?
Long
Spear.
wood.
Spear?
Spear.
Spear.
I like spears. I like spears. But still plank.
Spear? A spear? Plank.
Plank.
Plank spear?
Plank.
He goes, so he looks back and he says, a plank? And you hear from the others, plank? Plank? So this goes on for a little bit, and then they lean back down again, and he leans back down again, and he says, yes, you give plank, we take. And he gives you this contorted grin, which you assume is like supposed to be friendly, like,
Well, okay, but we need out of this tunnel first. You help us out, and we give you plank.
No.
and he
I
kind
want
of
I
like,
kind of
plank.
I touch
my plank.
Regina on the shoulder very slightly, and I just like, shh, it's okay,
My plank.
it's
And
okay.
he
Don't
says-
worry about it.
Only planks we got kind of holding up the roof, by the way.
what? Roof? Plank? Help roof.
I look over to Reginald and I say very quietly, "We're not giving them a plank."
Yeah, there's
That might
Help.
annoy them.
he says, we help you?
Yes, open hole. Open, dig.
Kobolds dig,
You
make big hole.
You dig. Open hole.
Oh, dig, open. He says, give, you give. And he waits 2 planks.
I feel like this is not my fault.
We can come to an arrangement,
2
but we need
planks.
out of this hole. Okay.
And he kind
Okay.
of looks
Reginald
suspiciously.
rummages in his pack and pulls out 2 unlit torches and passes them forward.
Okay.
2 plank.
And
That's a really good idea.
so do you hand those like Regina?
Yeah, I
do you
pass them-
I'll hand
pass
them.
them-
I'll hand those
okay.
Yeah,
torches.
pass
So-
them down the
So I
tunnel.
was like, right. Here you
So
go.
he
Here.
takes those
1 plank, 2 plank. Now you help us. Open hole.
So he
And I
looks
kind of
for a
motion
minute
to the hole in front of us.
and he says, "Kazum Bovid, you must husband." And he says, "These Kazumva, not plank. These Kazumva." And he gestures at somebody, and someone hands him down a flaming torch, and he holds it and points it and goes, "Kazumva, not plank. Give plank." And he hands back, and then he
plank.
pushes the unlit torches back to you, and he looks very like self-satisfied with himself, like he's can't catch him out. He's seen through your
Yes,
attempt. Apparently.
absolutely. Hole small, plank big, can't fit through.
Oh, big Kazembla. Big Kazembla? Oh,
Big,
this is
big.
Oh, this is a big Kazembla.
Hole very small, plank very big.
And so he like gestures back and forth, and then he talks to them and says, "All right, you give 2 big Kazembla. We help. You give 2 big Kazembla."
Yes,
look at
we
Eshel
give
like, "No!"
two big Kazembla. And I turn around and go,
He didn't say 2 big planks. He's talking about torches. I don't know if he means
You
that
have
or
a
not.
giant torch or what?
well,
You give Kazembla. Big Kazembla.
Then you can't. If you,
yes, so
I
you,
told
you,
you
you
can't
help
do
us
that.
first. You help us first. We come through. We give Kazembla.
He looks very suspiciously at you. He says, "We help you, then get big Kazembla."
Can he see, just as a mechanical question, can
Yeah.
he see, how big is this hole?
It's like
Is it like a porthole?
yes,
Or is
that's
it like
a good
a
way to describe
teeny
it.
hole?
No, it's a little bigger.
So
It's like a porthole.
So
Yeah.
he can see us through it. It's not like, pay no
He
attention
can mostly
to the man
see your
behind curtains sort of
faces,
thing.
like as you
Yeah.
start, that type of thing. Like you all, I should have said that you all have to bend down to kind of be seen, but you can do that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bend down. I'm gonna kneel down on one knee, and I'm just basically gonna motion to like my horns and the size of me. And I'm gonna say hole small, no room,
You kind of
can't move.
So he turns around and then he's like pointing to his head. And you hear this. So this goes back and forth, and he says, Okay, now I need you to make a persuasion check for me, please, Ashflower. So in this case, we're looking at persuasion. Do you have this skill?
Specifically persuasion, not deception.
Oh, that's true, actually. Because you're not planning on giving them the Cosmplop. Yeah, no, you're right. Deception.
No, I'm deceiving them.
Yes, you're right. So, yes.
Yep.
So deception.
Yes, I do. So similar dice roll to earlier. Yes.
Yes,
So
same
take me through the
thing.
flowchart. Sorry, take me
Same
through the
thing.
flowchart.
Deception. If so, do you have a focus in this skill to fit the situation? You do
No.
not, right? So roll 3d6 plus aspect, which in this case would be wits.
Which in case would be 3. However, due to my treachery skill as an assassin, I get a bonus die for deception rolls. So that would be 4d6 plus 3.
Okay.
Which I'm really, really pleased I took now. So we're classing the last die as the Kismet die, correct?
That's right.
Cool.
I see.
Yep. Don't know what that would. I think that's is that a failure? I've forgotten already because it depends on doubles, doesn't it?
Well, no. If it's what it is a basically a standard success is what that would be.
Ah, I see.
And so let's talk a little bit about what happens in that case with the skill check. So
I
give me a
think
second
Saber
on
is
these.
right that you roll a bonus die, but only 3 of the die actually count. Dice.
Yes, if I remember rightly.
Oh,
So,
I see.
so Mike could choose which of the 3, 2, or 6 to discard, and he'd keep the 5.
Oh,
as
because
the
he's not
Kismet
rolling.
die.
He has a bonus die that he can choose.
Got
Oh, my
Yes.
fault then. I didn't realize
Got
So
that.
so you could
I
pick
thought it
and
was adding
choose
them all together.
doubles, for
My bad.
example, rather than
So yeah.
Yeah.
So literally all I have on the actual book is you also it says when you get a bonus die when making deception tests. That's all. I've
Yeah,
got.
I
So
think
I
there is a
realize that's
spec-
how it works.
Yeah, as
with me,
opposed to
I think
adding
there
it
was something
together,
on
my bad.
Oh,
bonus
no
die.
doubt. No doubt. There's a specific
Page
section
10.
for it. It's just not. It's not linked. So what was that?
Page 10. It
Page
said.
10.
Hang on.
I'll just have a look in our handy dandy physical books. The Peggy Spieler sentence.
You get to choose which of these dice to keep, although you must always keep the Kismet die. You can only ever roll one
got it,
bonus
bonus
die, even
die.
if multiple dice are granted.
Gives you an extra die that you can add to a test roll. You get to choose which 3 die to keep, although you must always keep the Kismet die. A character can only ever roll 1 bonus die, even if multiple bonus dies are granted
Yeah.
at
Yep,
different
I see
special
it.
abilities. Got it. So I'll
Yeah.
drop the 2 in that case.
Yeah,
if
because
the
you
last
have a
one is
standard
gives me
success if you get above the difficulty that was set, and then if doubles are rolled, and the result equals the difficulty, then it's a great success, and if you have triples, then it's an extraordinary success. So right now we're looking at a standard success, because you don't have any doubles that you're adding there. So I assume at that point you would
Yes,
drop the
that's for
2,
sure.
presumably,
Yes.
and you would keep the
Yes.
16 plus 3, or am I missing that? Yeah, plus 3.
If he drops the 2, it has to be a 17, right?
Yes, so
8
that would
plus
be
6,
a
14,
17.
so
So
yeah,
my
17 total.
roll
Yep,
just
yep.
then, would
That's
be
right.
17.
So that's right. So, okay, so he kind of, okay, stand back.
I just say, thank you, friend, thank you. And I kind of shuffle back a bit.
Okay,
I shuffle back a bit, flying.
okay. So, there's a pause, and then you hear the sound of stunk, 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 and it sounds like something falling into the wall. And at first you think you're under attack, and then you realize as you begin to see the wall move a little bit that it's actually shovels. And these crude shovels as the kobolds dig away at this thing, dig away at the wall, pulling. And eventually get to the point where they have widened up the hole enough that it's wide enough for all of you to fly/crawl through, if you wish. And the one you've been talking to stands, he's been watching this happen. He hasn't been digging, the other kobolds have. He stands back with his arms folded and he says, come, hole big, give big, Classablah.
I push Ashflower forward. Now come on, go, get us a plank.
Would I be able to fit through the hole now?
Yes, you would be able to fit through the hole. Also, Memories in 8-Bit with the Prime sub, 59 months of support. Thank you, 8-Bit. Thank you so much. Always appreciated. Okay, yes, you can push your way through, Ashflower. All of you can. It's tight fit, but you can get through.
Yes. So I'm going to push my way through, not quickly, more like in controlled movement. So I don't want to seem like I'm jumping out of the hole because I don't want them to freak out.
Okay.
And then I'll turn around and I'll help like Reginald and Regina. Well, Regina doesn't need help. I'll help Reginald and Muriel out.
Okay. All right. So you turn in. So Regina comes out. You turn around. You help Reginald and Muriel out.
Boots follows through on his own accord.
Yep. And as you are
Boots, I keep forgetting
pulled
about Boots,
through,
Me too.
as you are pulled through, and Muriel and Reginald, you're there on the ground being pulled through, while Ashflower is there helping you. Regina, you are sort of floating there, and you suddenly see the kobold that you were looking at with a sly grin say, "Muzzle up!" And the kobolds, without warning, attack. Apparently, the deceivers were themselves deceived. Now,
There's this sudden but inevitable betrayal.
exactly. Now, the good news
No,
is there
what
is
a
going to be a
twist.
potential surprise effect, but not on Regina, who was watching this happen. Reginald, Ashflower, and Muriel, on the other hand, surprise is quite a possibility. Now, as a quick note, when you're dealing with surprise attacks, it is one of the rare times in Talisman Adventures, as it says, where the players can't help to decide the course of the action. They only get to react, although, of course, surprise only lasts for 1 round. So what that means here is that since you are surprised, surprise player characters don't get to take actions, and I can choose 1 action for each enemy. The only one who will get to take an action here is Regina. So Regina will be able to take an action, but otherwise it will be the enemy's turn to attack who they choose to, because they are deceitful little kobolds. All right, let me fire up a little bit of combat music. Like so. All right. So, so here we go. We are going to deal with this. So we've got the engagement bit there, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm going to give you an opportunity then, since you did not get surprised, Regina, that you will have an opportunity to act here, and then, of course, the kobolds will get a chance to act. So you could attack one of them. You could try to assist or protect or defend or disengage or run the hell away. I'm sure Regina would never do that. So what would you like to do as these 5 of them, it looks like, kobolds are ready to ambush you.
Is the old kobold guy that talked to us still there?
Yes. He's back. I mean,
Okay.
he's back a little bit. His arms are folded, but yes.
So he would be out of melee range, is what
Yes,
you're trying to say.
you could fly up to him theoretically. You could do that.
No, I just throw my spear at him.
Okay. Alrighty then. All right, ranged attack is what we're looking at here. So
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to make then a ranged attack here.
Yes, so thrown weapons with focus on spears is on board. So we've got 3d6 plus 4 plus 2.
All right, let's see how we do.
We're doing
Ah.
nicely, and we have a double.
A success, so it is a great success. So your attack is
Yes,
a complete
it's a great
success. You
success.
inflict full damage on your target. Your opponent does not get an action. Now, these creatures do have a pretty scaly hide, which suggests that they may be able to. Oh, interesting. That they may be
Okay.
able to get rid of some of the damage or reduce some of the damage, but most of
That's
it's going to get
fine.
through.
I do have a standard success or better, so I would like to use my special ability Mighty Blow and spend a light fate to reduce their armor points by 1/2 of my strength before resolving damage.
Okay, what is the? So what is
So-
that? What is 1/2 of your?
Two half.
Okay.
They lose 2 armor points before resolving damage.
That leaves them an armor of 1 that they're dealing with. So,
Punk.
okay. So that means we're going to look and add your damage to it. So, go ahead and make that
Yeah,
damage.
I make a little less damage when throwing, so it's 1d6 plus 4. If I see this correctly.
I think that's right. Sounds right.
Yep, that's it. That looks good. 1d6 plus 4 before throwing. Well, 10.
Wow. Okay, so you actually just thunk right through the throat. So he's got this smug smile, and then thunk, he's like, it just sort of falls over onto the ground. And the other ones, "Ah! Now they are like extremely upset. The other kobolds, and yes, you have destroyed him in one shot. So now the other kobolds, of course, will have a chance to act with this. They're going to get a chance to attack in their surprise round. So that means we're going to get a chance to get an action for each enemy.
They will not give us a plank, I know it.
They're probably not going to give you a point. It is true. All right, so give me 1 second. I want to make sure that I've got correctly with that. There we go. There's my... Oh, I don't need those actions. I need those actions. Okay, so... Let's see... Okay, so there are 4 kobolds remaining. 2 of them are going to run up, and they are going to attempt to attack. They're going to attack you, Regina, for your crime of having taken out their elder that they respected and that they cared deeply. So I need you to make a defense test. So what you're going to be doing here with this defense test is they are going to run forward. You're going to be doing defense against melee attacks for this, Regina. So this is agility or brawn that we're looking at here. Probably brawn in this case, I'm guessing. So they're going to try to strike you with what look to be spears, basically stab at you with their spears.
They just move at full speed?
Yeah, they can move up to you.
Well, so that is the thing with spears. If I do a defense test against an enemy moving at full speed, I get a bonus die.
Very nice. I like to hear it. Good stuff. So I'm going to ask you to make two defense tests, one against each of these.
And with spears, it's
absolutely beautiful.
And spears is usually agility, but you want me to do brawn? I can do both. It doesn't really.
This is brawn because they're actually attacking you, like not throwing it at you. They're actually attacking you up close and personal.
Okay, so it is 2. So how do I do defense? Is it 2? I never did a defense test so far.
Right. So for a skill check, for a defense check, you're still going to be rolling. I believe it is 3d6. And you're going to be, so you're going to be using basically, you're going to be making a melee defense check, it looks like. So basically you're using your, so to bring up our handy-dandy flowchart again, you're using your handy-dandy, you do have melee skill, obviously, and you have brawn as the focus, or no?
No, I've got agility as
Right.
focus, melee focus spears because it's what I use. So my melee focus is on spears.
So then you're just going to be, so you're going to be doing the same thing, which is 3d6 plus your aspect, which in this case would be the brawn aspect, I guess.
So 3d6, but 46 because I rolled the bonus die.
Right, that's right.
Plus
but then
brawn.
we're dropping, like as we talked about, 46, but you drop the lowest one of those, whatever.
Okay, and then my +3 from brawn.
Yes, that's it.
And then my +1 from two-handed master, which gives me +1 to any melee defense test.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Amen.
That was difficult. Okay, so 4d6 +3 from brawn. My focus doesn't work here, right? Because my focus on spears, does it also come in?
No, because you are not.
Okay. And then +3 +1. Okay, we've got it. 46 +4. I spontaneously dropped the 1.
Right.
So I go down to 15.
Okay, so you're looking at a 15. Okay, that is, let's see. 15 against, okay. So yes, you are then able to get what is a standard success in this particular case, which means you're only going to suffer half of the damage that you would normally. So that is that, which means that we're talking about, I'm going to roll this 1 damage here with this spear. It's actually really more like a sharpened stick than a spear, to be honest, but
I've got better spears than that.
okay. So that is going to do 5 damage. Now that's going to be against your armor, though.
Yes.
And your armor rating is what?
11.
Okay. So that's 11, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe we talked about this.
I now lose a point.
Yeah, you lose 1 point off of it, and so you're down to 10.
Yes.
And then also, I believe what we said is that also doesn't, it cuts down so you're not going to take any damage this turn, but it means that you now have only 5 armor remaining for this combat. So we talked about this in the chat, the way it works, right? So
one armor point is gone until I get the armor fixed,
Right.
but I lose an additional 4 points in mind for this.
That's correct. Yep. But you don't take any damage from it. They seem disappointed, by the way, that they did not manage to do that. The other 2 rush over and attack the big bad guy with the horns. So they're going to attack you, Ashflower. And so you are also going to be making a defense test. They're going to be, so there were 5, 1 of them's dead, 2 of them attacked Regina, 2 of them are going to attack Ashflower, and they're both going to stab away with their spears. So again, you're going to be making a defense test. It is going to be a melee defense test. So if you have melee, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So then,
Yes,
then
I
the
do.
question is whether you have a focus in like agility or brawn or something along those lines.
I have a focus in small blades, so that's agility.
Okay. So yeah, this is using brawn though. So I would say that you're dealing with then just 3d6 plus aspect again. I don't know if you get a bonus die like Regina did. I don't think so, because Regina has a special thing about the bonus die. So this is just 3d6
Regina's very
plus your
talented.
brawn aspect to whatever degree that is.
I'm good at being sneaky and deceptive. I'm not good at face-to-face confrontation.
Also, I am going to spend
so
a dark
3d6.
fate to increase the threat of this creature.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, no problem. I do what I can. And so I'm going to increase the threat of this creature.
So 3d6 plus my melee aspect?
Yes. No.
So the melee
Plus your
aspect
no, be brawn.
or...
Your brawn aspect.
Okay, cool. So 3d6 plus brawn. That's cool. That's only my lowest skill. 3d6. It's a whole one. Rolling their dice.
Let's see.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It could have been worse.
Unfortunately, though, it is
double.
not enough thanks to the carefully used chat Dark Fate that was just used on that kobold.
God damn it.
And so the threat is higher, which means that test has failed, which means you take full damage. Full damage from this attack. And that is going to be, let's see, that is going to be 5 points of damage. Now, what's your armor look like?
4.
Okay, so that means that you are going to, you're going to mark off 1 point on that armor, right, which needs to be refitted later. That leaves you with 3 total for the basis of this combat, but all 4 of those obviously are now used up, basically, for the combat anyway. And so you only take 1 life point of damage, but now going forward, the rest of the combat, you will be taking regular damage, basically, from that point
full
forward.
damage, basically.
Yeah, full damage.
Yeah.
Now, that was 1 attack
Okay.
that you defended against. Second guy is going to do the same thing to you. You're going
Just
to
so
have
I
to
can
defend
be properly, just so I can probably be scared. As I had a standard success, which is half the damage for me, I would have taken 10 damage without my success.
You know what? You're right. You have that damage. No, I take that back. You would have taken, so you would actually take, rounded up, 3. So it's actually only 3 points that get through to you, Regina. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. So 3. So that means 1 point off the armor, which is permanent till you refit it. 2 points get taken off, so you have however much armor that is that's left. So yeah.
I was really afraid for
No,
her.
you're right. I
afraid.
realized that we didn't take the half off. Yeah, sorry. Okay, Ashflower, though, no such luck. All right, so second defense test now, please.
Okay, re-rolling. Pressing the button. There we go.
Okay, so you will be happy to know. Let's see. Okay, yes. So this is a standard success. It is not a great success, but it is a standard success. So you will now take half the damage, which is what we're talking about.
I was going to say,
before.
that still means I get hurt, right?
And that does mean you only, yes, but only for 2 points. And this is going to come off your life total, so because no armor. So 16 out of 19 here. All right, good. Okay, now all of you can react. The kobolds have gone. So, situation. There are 4 uninjured kobolds, 1 still smiling dead kobold, which Regina destroyed with a javelin. And so all 4 of you now are able to operate. And so now we can do the combat as God intended, as they say. And so now you have to decide what you're going to do in terms of the position that you want to be in. And then you can move from there and decide who goes in what order, and then how you want to handle things. So there's 4 of you and there's 4 kobolds. You could do 1 each, or you could try to have some kind of sit behind and shoot from a distance, or how do you want to manage it?
I think I already have my own kobold, so I would take that one. If nobody wants it.
You already killed him.
No, the other ones that raced up to
Dude,
her.
I've got the one that ran into my spear, that I finally could use all the great options that I had that never came into play until now.
I was just thinking of the acorn all over again, where you just grab the body and he's mine.
Yeah. The acorn. So I will approach. I will draw sword and approach the nearest one to me.
Okay. That'll be easy because they're right next to you. So that'll be easy.
Yep.
What about you, Regina? You got the ones on you?
If nobody calls for help, Regina is pretty, like single-mindedly. There's a kobold in front of me, which apparently needs skewing. So if nobody calls out for help or gives any kind of signal, Regina will attack with the spear, now melee, the kobold in front of her.
All right, so there's 2 on Regina and 2 on Ashflower. So Reginald and Muriel, you're a little bit away. You're not currently targeted by any of them. So who do you want to attack, and then in what order do you want to do that?
Yeah, so as I picture it, basically me and Muriel are probably backs at the wall right at the tunnel entrance.
You got it. Standing up, having done so.
Yeah. And fortunately the kobolds nearest us went, ah! and charged at the angry sprite. and Ashflower is currently engaged with 2 of them. So it looks like Reginald's preparing to cast a spell at this time.
Okay.
So we'll probably go after Ashflower and target the one that he attacks.
Okay. So you'll go after Ashflower. Muriel, what about you? Do you want to go last, or how do you want to? What do you think?
I definitely want to go last. I am completely out of spells. So the only thing I can do is hit things with my mace, and I'm bad at that. So,
Okay.
so I want to go last just in case like everyone else does really well.
Okay. Are you gonna then aim for like attacking
Whoever's closest, really.
Gotcha. Okay. So, order as I understand it, if I put all that, it's like solving a logic puzzle in terms of who goes first. This person goes after that person. So I think what it would be is it would go Regina, Ashflower, Reginald, Muriel is what it sounds like. Does that sound right to everybody? Yes?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Regina, I'm going to have you, in that case, go first. You are making a melee attack here.
Yes.
Do I want to use another Dark Fate? I think I am going to use a second Dark Fate on one of the kobolds that you fight.
Okay. So
This is a kobold. It's literally his name is in bold, so you know he's kind of, he's up the ante.
And if he runs, he bolts.
Yeah.
So, so I take this plus my agility plus 2. So it's 3d6 plus 6 for my melee attack.
Okay.
22 with a great success if this hits.
Yeah. It sure does.
If it hits, oh my god.
Yeah, like it hits by a whole lot. In fact,
Jeez.
let's see. So it's not on the Kismet die.
Fighter.
Success.
This is what my character class is supposed to do.
So, right. So let's see. We didn't get triples. We got doubles.
Yes.
So that means it is going to be a great success.
Yes.
So with a great success, it means that your attack is a complete success. You inflict full damage on your target, and your opponent does not get an action. So it's all coming to Millhouse. So now you can roll your damage.
I will then now roll my damage. Spear melee is 1d6 plus 3 plus 4, so 1d6 plus 7. Because I have the skill for the two-handed weapon. 11.
Wow. Okay. So 11 is... Yeah, that's still enough. Boy. All right. So this thing is like... Ow. And the second one drops dead in front of you, Regina. They may be starting to regret their life choices, or their death choices in this case. All right, so that means one of the kobolds on you is down, so there's now 3 kobolds remaining in the room. I assume you're going... Oh, and you've moved up, so we've already dealt with your position. Okay, so next up is Ashflower. Ashflower, you
Hello.
have 2 kobolds on you that you are dealing with, and it's a target-rich environment for you.
Cool. Is there any way for me to tell which one had the Dark Fate spent on it?
That...
Do I?
No,
is that a thing
because-
like? Does it just like emanate darkness?
Yeah, exactly.
Kingdom Hearts
one is sort
style,
of
like,
tougher about that. I mean, yeah, you could have
Yeah.
seen the one that was all
Did one,
pumped
like,
up before
flex
Regina
before
wiped
it
it
hit
out.
me?
I mean, like, it was feeling real good, and then it was wiped out. No, because the Dark Fate only applies for the rest of that round. Although now that I think of it, let me just make sure.
I see.
Yeah,
I didn't know
ready
if it
by
was the rest of the
1d6 for one
combat.
round. Yeah. So
Got it. So it's just
Yeah.
that round. I didn't
That's
know
good
that.
to know. I
Okay,
didn't.
cool.
I thought it worked the other way too.
yep.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was
also
like,
I
for the
can't
rest of
use
the
it as a
combat.
reaction. In case you're curious, I can't use that as a reaction to someone attacking that enemy. I have to choose it at the beginning of the round, which is what I did for
Oh,
the
I see.
the
So
one
you
dealing
can't,
with Regina.
you can't retcon it and say, "Oh no, actually, it's
Right,
I've
exactly.
spent a Dark Fate on that character."
So
Right,
that's
okay.
another reason you
Cool,
might
so I'm
not want to
gonna-
go first in the round as well. Then,
Yeah.
True.
yeah.
True statement.
So, positionally, is there a kobold closer to me?
Oh yeah, there are
Or are they
two that
both
are
the same
right next to
distance?
you that attacked you to begin with.
Okay. I just attack the one on my right.
Okay.
So attacking, let's have a quick look here. So short sword. So attacking, I've left myself a handy dandy note which basically says to attack with my short sword, roll 3d6, add my agility, and add 2 if I have a focus in small blades, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound correct?
That sounds right, and that's basically the 3d6 plus aspect plus 2. That's the bottom of the flowchart that we finally get to. The bottom of the flowchart is this. This flowchart, by the way, Chad, is provided to us by the amazing Pyron Jade, which is why we keep bringing it up.
There we go.
Okay, so we're looking at 2 plus 6 plus 3. All right, so
So 19 standard success.
19 standard success is going to hit as a standard success, which means that you hit your target for full damage, but your opponent hits you for half damage. So, so you can hit your target for full damage. So go ahead and do that. I'll figure out the half damage part of doing that.
This is the roll I need assistance with, because I have a note that says damage is 1d6 plus 4, but I don't think that's right.
Your damage depends on your weapon.
That. Yes. So my weapon is a short sword.
Yeah, so that plus your physical damage modifier.
Physical damage modifier, thank you.
Which
so
I think is basically your brawn. But it might be
my brawn.
I think that might change based on your specific class, though.
Yeah, that is.
I thought it was my strength. Yeah, I thought it was my strength.
It might be strength,
Also,
actually.
for a short sword, by the way, it's actually 1d6 minus 1 is the short sword.
Yes, 1d6 minus 1.
Plus strength.
Plus strength, yeah. Or plus
1d6 minus 1 plus my
Well,
strength.
you're using it either with agility or brawn, actually.
That doesn't matter for the physical damage
Yeah, for the
modifier,
physical
that
damage,
only-
that's right, yeah.
That's only
Yeah,
for the
that doesn't
attack.
matter for damage, does it?
That's right.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't
brawn.
matter
So
for damage.
damage-wise, it's going to be strength. So in
Yes.
theory, because my strength is 4, mechanically speaking, I would roll 1d6, but only add 3 because the short sword is 1d6 minus
Yep, there you
1.
go.
Yes?
Yeah,
That's right.
That sounds right, doesn't it? Cool.
it does.
1d6 plus V. Roll that dice. 8. 8 points of damage. So I just whip out my short sword in a controlled manner, and I don't know if I kill it.
You don't kill it. Just give me 1 second. I'm
Cool.
getting confused about. Hold, please. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, that makes sense now. It was rolling, doing something weird. Okay, I was figuring out how much damage they do back to you. You are hit for 2 points of damage, Ashflower, by this thing. That's half the damage it would have normally done. So you're at 14 out of 19. Then you do to it, you said 8 damage, so its scaly hide will repel some of that, but it's still going to end up taking a decent amount of damage. That is not enough to kill it, but you have definitely hurt it a fair bit.
Awesome. That's all I can really do.
Okay. And by the way, did you say that was a standard success?
I think so, yeah. Because
Yes.
I don't have a double, so, and I don't have, there's nothing special about the Kismet die, which is the last die, so I got a 2, a 6, a 3, and then I added my modifier.
Okay, right. Oh, and this, yes, okay. And the Kismet, right, let me check here because I think the Kismet die would not have triggered here. There is a particular nasty skill this thing has, I believe, when Kismet die is triggered, which is why I wanted to double check and make sure. I was looking.
Yeah, so the Kismet die was a 3.
Right,
So
okay.
just for the
Yeah,
benefit
that's
of
what I thought.
chat, we're using
So it'd
the
have to be-
last die that we roll as the Kismet die. The Kismet die having special properties if it's rolled normally as a 6 or
Okay.
a 1.
All right, so that's all good. Okay, so yes, everything happened just as you described it, and as I described it, so all good. Okay, that leads us to Reginald, who has a spell coming up, I believe.
Yeah, Reginald holds his hands in the air and black clouds start to swirl at the top of the room. And with a deafening boom, a lightning bolt strikes out at the target Ashflower has just wounded.
The classic.
Yes.
Okay. Lightning bolt
So-
time.
Which will be 3d6 plus my resolve plus a bonus for being a nature spell. Which gives me
Doesn't
a
have to be
plus
outdoors, right? I don't
Oh,
believe it
cock.
does. Oh, speaking of Kismet dice.
In other words, boom.
Okay.
It's just
Hang on. I mean, you don't have to accept that result. I reject this
Right,
reality and
Celtic.
substitute my own.
I was going to
Hang
say.
on. Where was it? Right. So the test
I
was
use halfling
Well,
luck
first of
to
all,
change my tone.
was that a success?
So here's the interesting thing about this. Because of the Kismet die, having rolled a 1, here's what happens. So normally I would not roll this around. I roll this, but this is so much fun that, I need to ask, what is the weapon that you normally use, Reginald?
Well, because I also want to point out, because I've successfully rolled a test, I can re-roll the Kismet die.
Oh, you can.
I can spend a light fate to re-roll
I
the die of my
recommend you
choosing.
re-roll the
God.
Kismet die. Although I
It's a
am
special
so
ability.
sorry because I was really looking forward to what I was about to explain, but that's okay.
That's his special ability.
No, this is just a standard light fate use.
It's
Anyone
a
can
standard
do
light
that.
fate use.
Anyone can do
Oh.
that as long as the test is a success.
Okay, so go ahead and
But I
re-roll
ha-
the Kismet die, if you're assuming you want to, and that's,
I think I probably won't.
Okay, so,
Well then,
oh well, so it does happen anyway.
a valiant
God.
effort.
So here's what happens. What is the weapon that you have normally, Reginald, for melee
A
stuff?
scythe.
Yes. So what this creature does, so you shoot it, shoot the lightning bolt at it, and so it normally looks like it's going to strike, but just as you're sort of finishing up the right, the kobold sees what you're doing and its eyes widen. But you see that it's sort of weird because it's not looking directly at you, it's looking at your belt. And it leaps forward, rolls underneath your lightning bolt. I will explain how this works mechanically in a minute, and grabs the scythe out of your belt. Now let me explain how this works. There is what is called, for the kobolds, a special ability called metal diet. Because in this world, kobolds subsist entirely on metal and ore. And so kobolds typically are aghast that adventurers would carry around a bunch of movable feasts attached to their belt that's like delicious metal. So when a character gets a failure or a standard success on an attack against a kobold, any attack, the GM may choose to negate all damage, allowing the kobold to, and I quote, as you pull the scythe, eat the character's weapon instead. And so you see the kobold literally grabs the scythe from your belt and crunches into it with a big smile and looks at you.
Reginald just goes, "Oh no, my weapon."
Yes. This only would have
It's not
happened with a
swung
Kismet die.
Yeah, the one character who's not swung a single melee hit this entire campaign.
Exactly. I know, but it was just fun to do that. Wasn't it fun,
yeah.
everybody? Triffitt's like, this is hilarious. It was fun for me.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I was like, really? Any attack? Any attack? So leaps forward and is eating your scythe.
Better me than one of the melee characters.
Exactly.
I'm philosophical about this.
Exactly. It means in this particular case, though, that it also negates the damage from the lightning bolt, which only would have happened with that one on the Kismet die. So it's,
Yeah.
I stare at Reginald and the eating kobold in front of him. Like, what did you do?
Fed it, apparently.
Is it our friend now? Is it our friend now?
Certainly, this is how they get iron in their diet. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay. So Reginald goes, and last but certainly not least to go is Muriel. And so Muriel, you are up next. Now you don't have any kobolds on you at the minute. You see one kobold eating your friend Reginald's scythe. You don't really know what the hell that's going on there, but that's the deal. You sure it's not a sickle? It's literally a scythe.
Actually, a scythe, yes.
Okay,
well,
actually a
was.
scythe. Okay, so literally just eating your scythe.
Was.
So Muriel, you now get a chance to act, seeing these very strange creatures. There are 3 of these kobolds, so you could bring your mace down upon the one that is eating a scythe, or you could, attack one of the ones that's on Ashflower. It's up to you.
I'm presuming that the scythe eater is the one nearest me, yes?
I would say probably yes.
And
All
it's
right.
the wounded one.
And the wounded one, perfect. That's the one I was looking for, was the one that would hurt more. So, yeah, I guess I'll just mace that guy.
So I
But with a mace, not with spray.
with them.
I don't
That
have
would
any.
work even better. Okay. So
I cast mace.
let's see. So I'm going to ask you to make a test again. So what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be attacking using a melee weapon. So you're going to be doing, again, this 3d6. Do you have, assuming you have the melee skill, do you have the melee skill, actually? Or no? Or range, or, so, okay. So then you're just rolling 3d6. That's all that is. So you're rolling 3d6 by itself. Okay. That's, what is that from, Pyron? I sell it for less, that's cutting me own throat. What is that from?
It's
really
Cut Me On Throat Dibbler from
Cut Me On Throat Dibbler.
Discworld.
From Discworld, that's right. Yes, I was like, I know what that's from. Okay. 11, okay. So, that is, I think... Oh, yes, it is, actually. That is just enough to hit it. So that is a standard success, and you did not
No
roll.
way, really?
It's a standard success, yes. You did not, because I didn't increase the threat on this creature.
Oh, thank you.
You did not, you did not roll a 1 on the Kismet die, so it's not going to try to also eat your mace. So you can just try to inflict damage upon it, and it's already been hurt once. So, so this is whatever your attack is. So it's 1d6. Isn't it, what are you using to attack your mace? You said.
Yeah, mace. I mean, that's what the rulebook said is it's 1d6 of damage.
And it's just 1d6
plus
flat.
damage mod.
Yeah, that's what it said, but I am open to corrections.
I think you always add your physical damage modifier to a melee hit.
It is 1d6 damage.
That would only be a +1. So.
Hey, it's a freebie.
Yeah.
By the
that's
way,
true.
important to note, incidentally, that if you had rolled a Kismet die that was like a 6, if you'd gotten a 6 on the Kismet die, you would actually ignore armor with this hit because of the nature of what a mace is. So in this case, you didn't because his armor has been taken out anyway, but I'm just letting you know. Okay. Regardless of that, given the damage that was already done to this creature, you knock this thing the hell down, Muriel. So it is smashed to the ground. And there are 2 kobolds that remain, and I don't believe they have any actions left because everyone's been dealt with. So in the next round, you've got 2 kobolds that remain. So party, how do you want to handle things? One is currently next to Regina, one is currently next to Ashflower. Oh, sorry.
I would
Yes,
like to maintain
Ashflower.
last position. That's what I would like to do.
Okay.
I feel like that my strategy is working out quite fine. I'll just continue.
Less
Okay.
chatty, more stabby.
Reginald, are you still doing another spell, though, or are you going to do something else at that point?
I'm gonna warm up another spell.
Gotcha. All right.
So I'll go third.
Regina, you were up. So we're going to go Regina, Ashflower, Reginald, and Muriel again. So Regina, you're up first. You've got another kobold that you're flying to with your Spear of Death.
Yes, of course. So
Spear of
it's
Death.
another 3d6 plus 6.
Your Spear of Acorn Death.
This spear's going to take you to the hospital, so I'm going to
20
nickname it the
with a double.
ambulance.
20 with a double and a 6 on the Kismet die.
Oh my goodness. What are you using? You're using a spear, right?
Yes, I'm using a spear and I'm using it two-handed with my special ability to do
Okay,
that.
hold on a second. I got to pull up the weapons again. All right. Spear. Okay, there's not any better. Okay, fine. So, so it means you're looking at, so we've got 1d6. So you get a light fate. Also 1d6 plus 1. That is definitely a success, in case you're curious, and it is a great success. It's not a extraordinary success, but it's a great success. So you inflict full damage. Opponent does not get an action. So once again, Regina bringing down the damage. So go ahead and roll your damage on this thing.
Yes.
The
So
ambulance.
it's 1d6 plus 7 is the damage. 11.
Okay. 11. Minus
Yes.
Once again, I feel like Regina just hits one of these and one-shots them every time because the amount of damage that's being done and the amount of armor, relatively speaking. I think that's like the second or third 11 in a row that you got in terms of damage.
Your characters are just vicious.
Yeah, they really are. So you take this thing down.
You caused all of this with the because we could have just gotten a plank. I still feel like.
We are through the hole, are we not?
What's up, Tim Coolish?
Yes,
Okay,
but I
damage
was
has been
through the
done.
hole before that.
Damage has
We
been
are
done. Good
through the
stuff. This
hole.
thing drops to the ground. There's now one kobold left. And Ashflower, you are up next. You can stride forward to engage this final remaining kobold.
Oh, yes. Oh, my, yes. I will stride forward with purpose and engage this this deceitful kobold. How dare they try and deceive us?
Exactly.
Let me just get my handy dandy note out. There we go. 3d6 plus my agility plus 2. 3d6 plus my agility plus 2. I rolled well. I rolled very well. I got triples.
Wow. So, good grief. You all were really annoyed that they attacked you. This is an extraordinary
I rolled
success.
Exceptionally.
So, yeah, your attack is a complete success. In addition to inflicting full damage and emerging unscathed, you cause your opponent additional harm. So, I'm going to say you're going to add another 1d6 damage to it. So, you're going to roll your normal damage plus an additional 1d6 because of your extraordinary success.
Okay, so my normal damage. Should I roll 2d6 plus my modifier then?
Yes, and then an additional 1d6
Yeah?
after that. Or no, I'm sorry. No, yes,
No,
you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so my normal is
2d6 plus your
1d6.
modifier. Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay,
yep, yep,
cool. There we go. So 10 points of damage.
Okay, so 10 points of damage. That's enough. So you, like, right through its armor, just you strike it down with furious rage and anger. And the last one falls dead, and it's like, Kabalish, like reaching for the torch, and then drops to the ground. And
We take candle.
and now you are in this room with the bodies of these creatures. So despite their deceit, you manage to hold them off here. And I can tell you now a little bit about what you see, and then you can tell me what you want to do with the kobolds if you want. There are these runes of an ancient language lining the walls of this rather large room. Although it looks like many of the letters and words of the language have faded away, and some of them also look to be marred, by which I mean like sort of like obscured. It almost looks like something was chewing at this or something, like chewing at the rock, but it's all kind of messed up, so the runes are like half visible pretty much. And I'll talk more about that if people want to look into that as well. Also, the chamber has, in addition to this, a statue, and this is the one that I mentioned before to Regina. It is made of crumbling, and again, it looks like it's half chewed. A lot of stuff in this room looks chewed, actually. Crumbling and chewed marble. It roughly resembles a humanoid with scaly skin and 4 arms, but otherwise it seems somewhat unidentifiable, although again, once I've described the room, you can tell me if you want to look more at something or not. Also, there are 3 exits out of this room. There is an open hallway to the east. There is, in the southwestern wall, an oak door, which is closed. And last of all, there is, in the southeastern wall, a massive stone door, which is sealing the exit from this room. And, of course, there's the hole that you all just came through. So there's, in addition to the hole you came through, 3 exits. A stone door, a wooden door, and then an open hallway. I've already mentioned the statue. The last thing I'll note is that, of course, you also have the dead bodies of the kobolds, and you could also look into those if you wish. So let me know what you'd like to do.
I would like to fly over to the old kobold and collect my spear that I threw at him.
Okay, you do that. He's still got the, the smile like fixed on his face from where you killed him.
I also check his surroundings for a plank and will be disappointed.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are no planks to be found. You
Well,
find a
there might be
journal
what's left of
saying one
Reginald's
day
scythe.
planks. Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say you might find what's left of Reginald's scythe.
Yep,
because
it's like eaten
the
in
wooden
half.
bit.
Yep. It really is,
So
Reginald. They literally just ate the scythe. Like,
Well, I've got a stick out of it.
that's true. You do
Yeah,
have a
now you
stick.
got staff.
Also, hi, Mark.
Now we have a plank.
That's a stick. That's not a plank. I could
We'll see
walk
you with
over it,
anything
but
better.
I mean, they got a
Now
lot
it's
of
a
spears.
walking scythe.
Maybe they've got a lot of spears. Maybe we could just tie them together and make a bridge. For you, big people.
What are we tying them together with? We have no rope.
I look at the goblins. Do the goblins have rope?
Reginald just points at the door and just stands there like that until someone notices.
You mean the kobolds? The kobolds do not
don't-
have rope. No.
I don't think we need to go over the pit anymore, Regina. I think, and I sort of look at the other doors that Reginald's pointing towards. I'm like, there are other doors.
You see a slightly confused look on Regina's face while she's trying to let the thought of going over the pit go, and just looks at you like, are you giving up on the pit?
Yes, we don't have wings.
That's not true for
After
me.
having experienced the pit, I would like to give up on the pit. Yes.
I motioned to Muriel. I'm like, no,
Says so.
like we're not
Muriel
doing
said it.
this again.
No, Muriel knows all the things. If Muriel says so, we give up on the pit.
There we go.
All right.
So what else is in the room? Sorry, doors
Reginald
and a
was
statue.
So you got the
examining
statue and the bodies of
rooms.
the kobold. There's rubble around the statue, and then you got the doors. Sorry, Reginald. Go ahead.
Reginald's going to be examining the runes since he tends to have a bit of aptitude in lore and deciphering.
Let me have you make, please, a decipher test. This will be wits-based.
Okay. Yep. So that's going to be a +4. And if this eats my robe, I'll be very annoyed. Ooh, well.
Yeah.
Well, at least I get a like fate.
Now
It's a mimic.
it does look like you could, if you wish. You get the impression it seems it's all very confused, and a lot of them have been either faded or chewed away. Reginald, you think if you were to stay and spend a considerable amount of time, like picking through it, like an hour or more, you might be able to start getting a couple of the words here and there. But it's impossible to know what this is for. Obviously, this is all something ritualistic, but what kind of ritual or what this is, you don't know.
Reginald just shrugs and turns away.
I'm going to move towards the statue.
Okay. Muriel, Regina, what are you folks? Well, actually, I know what Regina just did. Muriel, what are you doing?
Also statue, just to see.
Okay. Both Muriel and Ashflower, when you get within about 15 feet of the statue, about 5 meters, you sense an aura. And it is an aura.
Is it a nice aura?
No, it's an evil aura. And I want to mention this too. Now, this isn't from Muriel, but let's see, we've got Ashflower. Actually, Ashflower and Muriel are both good, right? So you just feel this aura of evil radiating from the statue.
Okay.
I do not like this statue.
No, this is not a good statue.
Shall I kill it?
The rubble that's next to it, is it from the statue? Is this a smashed statue?
It looks more like crumbling and chewed. Maybe the kobolds were chewing at it, is what you would guess. But yes. Also, Muriel, since you're looking at the rubble, right, Ashflower? As you came close.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if this is like basically a burial pile, or if it's
no,
like
it looks
bits
like
of the
it's probably
statue that were
crumbled
taken
from
off
the
and
statue.
placed
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it looks like it basically crumbled
Okay.
from the statue. You might be able to clear some of the rubble if you wanted to look underneath it. If you took a little while, it's up to you.
Yeah,
but,
might as
but
well.
it came from the statue, presumably.
I'm gonna clear it. Yeah, while Muriel's having a look at the statue, I'll clear a bit of the rubble to see if there's anything under there. But I'm not gonna be like digging through it really feverishly. I'm just gonna move a few bits and pieces.
Okay. Muriel, what are you doing then as that's happening? I know you're near the statue, but what?
I just wanted to examine it, see if there was like anything I would recognize on it, and being a lore keeper, writing, even anything that would pop out.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How close are you getting to it?
I think I've safely stopped at about the 5 meter mark because of the icky feels.
Okay, I figured. As you're just sort of looking at it, this seems like this is unclear, but you're going to get a chance to make a test against it. So I'm going to ask you to make a lore, which would be good for you, test, which is going to be wits-based. So I'm going to ask you to make a lore test. And you're going to be getting a -2 penalty to this, Muriel, because it is very difficult to concentrate in the proximity of this thing. It's sort of like almost like a weight upon you. Okay, so 5, 6, 4.
And we'll
20.
just -2 from
So
that.
that's enough, actually. Yes,
Okay.
you're almost sure that what this is a statue of an ancient, evil, long-forgotten god from even before the time of the Great Wizard. Almost certainly, this predates the Great Wizard, which means it's been a while. And it's quite likely that the kobolds didn't even know what this thing was. I mean, they they're also evil creatures and whatever, but this thing at one point would have been a formidable force for evil in the world, but has long since passed.
Well, that's not good. I relay said information to party and add, I kind of don't want to stay here or investigate further because I feel like this is sort of just a bad place to be. It might be a bad omen. There might be more bad here. I don't know. This feels bad.
Is the statue bad? Shall we kill it?
Can we kill the statue? I don't know if that's a thing.
It
It looks like the kobolds were working on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could try to destroy it. You could try to attack it. You could theoretically try to shatter it. I know Reginald, that's been one of his favorites. You could try to shatter it as well.
Oh, first things first. Maybe the goblins have the kobolds have very important information, and I would like to start searching the kobolds, starting with the old guy.
Okay.
Reginald's actually saying some death rituals over the corpses, because especially in light of there's an evil statue nearby, we don't necessarily want these kobolds out for vengeance in some other form. So, yeah, that's what Reginald's going to do. He won't do shatter, because I don't think that even works on non-magic things, and at least aura suggests magic to Reginald.
Fair enough. Also, Regina... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ashflower. Sorry.
No, go for it.
Regina, when you search the old... None of the kobolds seem to have anything on them with one exception. Besides, pointed sticks that they were using as spears, but that's, But there is on one of them, the old guy, the still smiling-faced old guy, there is a small vial, and there is what looks like a sort of clear blue liquid inside this vial, Regina.
I'm pretty sure it's alcohol. What else would anybody be carrying around? I bring it to Muriel because she's the carrier of all my alcohol.
Okay, so Muriel, you see Regina brings you this this vial of blue liquid.
Look, the old kobold had alcohol. I bring you a vial of blue liquid.
I feel like that's not alcohol.
What else would anybody be carrying around?
All sorts of things, but I mean, alcohol, I guess, is an option. Did you smell it? Does it smell like alcohol?
I did not smell it. Does it have a cork or something?
It does have a cork in it, yes.
Okay.
I popped the cork.
Okay. It does seem to have a faintly alcoholic smell, maybe, but it's not based on, if it was an actual just a drink of alcohol, like, it was a beer that you just opened or something, you would smell it much more strongly. This seems like it's almost got a faint alcohol scent, but not that much.
I think it's schnapps.
I don't think it's schnapps.
It's kobold schlager. No.
Yeah. Kobolds probably brew something much stronger than this, I would guess.
Oh. Okay. Well, you take care of it, like with all the other alcohol?
I will put it with the other alcohol for now, until we decide what it is.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, remind me, Muriel, at some point, we got it from the kobolds, and I'll be able to go back and let you know what it is.
Yeah.
When you decide.
Yes.
Okay. Meanwhile, Reginald, I think you've just about finished your death rituals at this point. So, and Ashflower, you, having looked through the rubble, you have found something As you're doing it, this sort of weight of the statue kind of looming over you is troubling. But as you reach through it, you find what looks like which is an ancient leather-bound book, dark red covers.
I see. I will pick up said book. The one thing I want to know, however, are there any dead creatures near this statue?
Other than the ones that you just killed, no.
Yeah, no. So there's no like skeletons. Like, there's nothing to suggest like if we were to touch this statue, it would come to life and try and murder us, or it's got an kill adventurous trap on it, or
it does
like
not. Right. There's no. Well, I mean, I'll just say that there are no bodies around it other than the ones you dealt with the kobolds, for whatever that's worth.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I open the book and have a quick look at it.
So as you begin to look into it, it's it seems kind of largely illegible. There's a lot of weird words that you don't understand. But as you begin to sort of look at it more closely, you see what looks like might be some kind of runic kind of qualities to it. It's possible that this is some kind of ancient spell book, Ashflower. Possible.
Interesting. An ancient spellbook, you say?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to walk over to Muriel, and I'm going to ask Muriel what she thinks of this book, because the experiences have taught me that Muriel knows a lot. Firstly, knows a lot about magic, and secondly, knows a lot about very old things and can decipher quite interesting and old things. Mm-hmm. And also, Muriel continues to be very fascinating with the knowledge that she holds inside her head. So he's going to take the book over to Muriel and ask, would this be something that you would be able to use?
I thumbed through it, and is it something that I would be able to use?
So it looks like if you were to take some time with this thing, if you were able to spend some time with it, you might theoretically be able to find if you can put enough things together and study it for a little while, you might be able to possibly piece together one of the ancient spells here. You have no idea what that spell would do, obviously, yet.
Oh, we will find out.
Destroy
Thank
good
you,
party.
Thank
No,
you. This is very exciting. I will definitely be studying this book.
Ashflower just bows very slightly and goes back to look at from a distance the statue.
Okay.
Because there's a very odd feeling coming from it, and he's not quite sure how to place it.
And Reginald, now you're done with the death ritual, so now you could turn your attention elsewhere if you wished.
Examine the door. Everyone else seems to have everything sort of occupied right now. So I'm just going to poke the door with my stick.
Okay. And sorry, which door?
The stone door that was at the end of the room that I was pointing
okay.
out to people.
It is two things to note about this door. First of all, you kind of like dink, dink, dink. And it is closed and not moving. And also, it is the frame of the door is engraved with some of the same language that you see elsewhere in this chamber. That's kind of been, chewed and all that other stuff. Same kind of runes, whatever those are.
Okay. Well, we already established I don't speak that language or can make it out. So it's not much to it right now. I'm not going to go opening a door by myself until I have gathered my party. So at the moment, I'm just sort of watching what everyone else is up to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And maybe just waving my stick over Boots' head while I'm waiting.
Okay, occasionally Boots looks up, like that.
Having satisfied kind of my interest in the statue and not really wanting to go much further towards it, I'll go over to Reginald and have a look at the door as well.
Okay. So you do that. You go over and take a look at it. You can see what I've previously mentioned about the ritual here. I would say, and you see that again, the frame of the door. Now, the one thing I'll say is that this language that's on the frame looks less chewed. In other words, it looks like it's more. You can see more of it. You can see more of the words, etc., on the frame. That's the same as the other elsewhere in the chamber.
You told us the things we can obviously see in the chamber,
That's
right?
That's right.
I'll flit through the chamber and search it.
Okay, specifically, like what? Like everything?
Planks, alcohol, anything that interests Regina or that she thinks that Muriel would like to have.
Okay. As you're flitting around, when you pass by the statue, and I know you're not going to touch it, but you're just going to pass by it, Regina, in your mind you hear, "Offer me your prayers, and I shall grant you a gift, a great gift." You hear that voice in your mind.
Only I?
You're the only one who heard, apparently.
I look around. It spoke to me! It spoke to me! The statue spoke! This means we can kill it.
Did you drink that kobold booze?
No, I did not. I gave it to Muriel. Everybody finds things and brings them to Muriel. Ashflower did as well. The statue promised me a big gift.
I don't think we should take the statue up on that offer. I don't like the feeling that's coming off of it.
Why not?
Because it feels evil.
But then we should kill it?
Well, it's not moving, so I don't know if we need to kill it. I mean, we could try and destroy it if we really wanted to.
Maybe.
Don't really want to risk angering an evil talking statue.
I mean, this could seal something in. This could be the lock and key. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go potentially wrong with this.
I have proficiency in psychic skill.
As do I. We could psychically attack it.
I wasn't thinking about attacking it. I'm just thinking maybe my psychic skill might come in handy for figuring out if there's some sort of sentient thing stuck inside it.
And you could do that if you wanted, just quickly, Reginald, if you wanted to go closer to it. You don't have to touch it, but like if you wanted to go closer to it.
Oh, now my attention's been firmly drawn to it. I'm going to start making my way over while Regina makes a statement.
Okay, go ahead, Regina.
But, I mean, we have just fought those kobolds, right? And these are the kobolds that the toads have a problem with, right?
Yes.
But the kobolds were not really a problem, and the toads were like powerful magic toads. So maybe the statue is the problem, and not the kobolds.
It is possible.
Reasonable.
So we should kill the statue.
At this point, Reginald, you've gotten close enough that you also hear in your mind, "Offer me your prayers, and I shall grant you a gift, a great gift."
Does the voice feel like a voice of the dead in any way? Bear in mind, I have skills that let me sort of detect that sort of thing.
I would not say of the dead, no.
Okay.
Is there any way to find out if this statue is magical?
It's pretty clearly got some kind of magic aura without even having to check too closely. Like, it's the fact that it's resonating, or speaking indicates something about that. But what the magic is or anything like that would be harder to be able to determine, I think.
Just look very briefly over to Reginald. How are you feeling spell-wise?
Could do with a bit of a break soon. Didn't get much rest when we were trying to fix up Muriel.
Just bear with me a second.
Plus,
I know the windows are off. I'll fix them.
Last spell I used kinda got my scythe eaten.
That's also true. I didn't know if you could use shatter upon this item. If it did have magical properties, it may have a very instantaneous effect, but we could do this the old-fashioned way.
I'd wager any statue that's talking is probably not your standard tomb decoration. Mechanically, shatter won't work on anything magical.
I very stealthily fly up to the next big rock and pick it up.
Okay. You mean rock down in the rubble is what you mean?
Yeah, like a sturdy, hard-looking rock.
Okay.
Does Reginald
probably-
notice this stealthy rock picking up?
Make a, let's have you make a stealth test for me, please, Regina.
Okay, I can do this. I'm totally like stealthy. I'm the stealthiest stealthy thing in this room. Apart from Ash Flower. 17.
Okay, so
And now Reginald make a notice test.
That's what I was kind of
basically
angling for
that's
there,
what's
yeah.
going to happen. Yeah, normally you don't do opposed checks in this game the same way, but I think that is what we're going to do here.
Okay,
So yeah, so
so-
notice check.
It's a good roll to beat. How's a 555?
Yeah, extraordinary success. You not only see that she's going up with the rock, but you also see that she's kind of looking at you to see if you're noticing that she's going up and doing this. Like-
Absolute intent on her face.
yeah. Oh man.
I don't think you should do that. I'm starting to shift towards the door.
We
Okay.
need to stop it, right?
We don't
We could get-
really know what it is.
It is evil. And we told the toads we would get rid of the problem. Do you really want to keep the statue standing here? Really, really, really? Like, really?
Don't know what'll happen when we break it.
Yeah, but we will only find out when we break it.
This is true. This could be the cause of these issues. It could be sending the kobolds mad. This could have some sort of dangerous influence upon them. I think if we can potentially take this down from a distance without getting too
Yes.
close to the spooky voice, then
Kobolds would be dumb enough to listen to something like this.
Throw a rock at it. You can go into cover and I throw a rock.
I'm going to test how easy the door is to open.
The stone
we
one.
also have the
The
tunnel.
stone door, yes.
Okay. The stone door is apparently locked.
Ah, I see. Was there a wooden door as well? Did you say?
There was a wooden door, yes.
Oh, I'm making that up. Okay.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So there's 2 doors and the tunnel, right?
Well, there's 2 doors. There's a hallway, and there's the tunnel behind you. There's an open hallway as well.
The
Oh,
tunnel wasn't
I
a
see.
quick egress for us. We did have to clamber through.
That's
Kind of
true.
Clamber through. Yeah.
I keep
Just
hoovering
thinking
with my
having
rock.
to get away in a hurry.
I keep hoovering with my rock. So...
Reginald's going to look at the wooden door.
Okay.
Why are you allowed to touch things and I'm not?
Things I touch don't break
He's-
unless I want them to.
I just turn around to Regina and say, "Well, I don't think there's the evil doors. There's definitely an evil statue. We just don't want to touch evil things right at this moment."
Things only break because I want all the things to break.
Yeah, but
I
All
mean,
the
you've got me
things.
there. I mean, you definitely got me there. I can't deny that.
The door that you're looking at, by the way, Reginald, is slightly swollen. So it seemed like you can see that it's slightly bowed out a bit.
does it appear to be from age or other?
That is a little hard to tell. You can see, because you're near it, that there is a cool breeze, not cold, not freezing cold, but a cool breeze coming from a crack near the floor. So basically, between the crack between the door and the floor, there's a cool breeze there. And the door itself is damp and cold to the touch.
How big's the crack at the bottom of the door?
You know, it's, I don't know, maybe half an inch
Okay.
type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, if there was actual water, then it'd be coming under the door.
That's
in
true,
that
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
That is what I thought first.
Everyone immediately had that Dragon's Lair moment of, like, you know, the
Yeah,
door
pretty
pulsing,
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reginald is going to sort of thunk on the door with his wooden stick.
Doof, doof, doof. It does. Yeah, you hear the sound kind of resonating on the other side.
Resonating, so that implies chamber. Reginald's going to try the handle while the other two sort of make their own minds up about what they're doing right now.
So the door seems to be stuck. You don't know if it's locked, but it's stuck. You might be able to just pull it, pull hard or something and get it open. But it seems a little bit like it's stuck, like swollen shut, from...
Okay, so I'll just inform the party then. There's a breeze coming from this door. That usually means open air.
Okay.
Gina's still hovering with the stone.
Yes.
Door's stuck though. What say we get the door open, then break the statue, then if we need to run away really, really fast.
I like that plan. I'll go over to Reginald and help with opening the door.
Okay.
My rock and I, we wait.
Okay, you just
Yeah,
wait
so-
in preparation. So helping with the wooden door, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. What is, Reginald, your strength?
2.
And what, Ashflower, is your strength?
4.
Okay, so who's going to pull on it? Because it's not probably big enough for 2 people to pull. But one of the 2 of you. I mean, does that mean Ashflower will because of being stronger? Is that the idea?
Well, I guess
say-
thematically we don't know who's stronger, but Reginald was at the door first, so
Yeah, so Reginald could
I'm
give it a shot.
helping
Yeah.
Reginald do it.
So
Alright.
make a strength test for me, please, Reginald.
Right, so that's 3d6 plus 2 then.
Yeah. Is that...
That's a 1 on the Kismet die again.
Oh, yep. All right, so I will take that dark fate. Thank you.
The door eats your hand.
Yeah, exactly. You were consumed by the door. No.
No, but the door is now stronger than it was 5 minutes ago.
It has grown even stronger. No, actually, believe it or not,
Now it's swollen and swollen.
the Kismet die, that is actually enough to open it. So you managed to yank it, Reginald, and when you do open it, you can see that it's not a chamber. It is a passageway that is sloping down on a steep angle. And even from where you are, you can see that the walls and the floor of this stone passage are very damp and presumably slick.
How'd the kobolds get in here?
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they used the open hallway.
The one they had to demolish for us to get in.
No, that's the
No,
tunnel
there's
we
a-
came through. There's another
Yeah,
open
so we've got-
hallway. That one over there.
Yeah, the tunnel, 2 doorways and a hallway.
Oh god. Reginald's been very tunnel vision apparently this whole time. He's just like,
Hey,
rooms.
get it?
Oh, door. Oh, yeah.
Tunnel vision.
That's a freebie. That was unintentional.
Hey, nice.
Reginald looks around at the hallway like he's never seen it before. He's like, oh.
Maybe. So you two want to hide in the hallway, and I throw the rock because the rock wants to fly.
I would also like to help out with the statue, so I'm going to stand between the door and Regina and potentially assist with a psychic attack.
Okay. Reginald
Reginald will stand behind the 2 of them doing that, where the hallway is, I assume, then.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm sorry. So, Reginald, you're standing where? You're...
Well, I'm going to move away if Ashflower moves away, because I'm not standing by a giant slippy slope by myself.
Okay.
Fair.
All right. So, you're going to move
yeah.
away. And where are you going to stand in the room then, Reginald? And I guess we should ask that for Muriel also.
Probably close to the hallway, because Reginald's definitely anticipating having to make a quick exit when Regina does what she's going to do.
Okay. That seems...
I would assume in her current state, Muriel would also want to be near the exit as well.
Okay, that seems reasonable. And so when you stand near to the open hallway. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so you're standing next to the open hallway. Ashflower, Reginald and Muriel is. Ashflower and Regina, you're there. Ashflower, you're going to do, as you said, like a psychic attack, but that will be presumably after Regina tries to throw her rock at it? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's see, this big stone. I need to think about, this is kind of like an improvised weapon type of thing. So I'm going to have you make, I think, a ranged test for me, please, Regina.
I have thrown weapons with focus on rocks.
That's right. All right. Hey, listen, sign me up. Let's do it then.
We just need to figure out the damage afterwards because I don't have the rock damage.
Look at all the
somehow.
suspicion in chat too, by the way. Like he's setting up something. He's setting up the kill zone. I'm just relating what's happening, people. Like I'm just explaining.
Look me dead in the eyes and tell me that's not true.
I am completely calling balls and strikes, Mike. That's all I'm doing.
What is that?
I am a referee. I am being neutral. I am calling offsides for those of you who play non-American football. Okay.
So, does an 18 hit the statue?
Yes, an 18. The statue, surprisingly, is not very mobile. Okay, so an 18
how
will
much
indeed hit the
damage?
statue. So, let's see. Let's have you make that 1d6. Let's call it that.
Plus my physical damage modifier?
No, because you're dropping this on this thing, I think. Unless you're, oh, maybe not. Maybe you're going up and you're hitting it with the stone.
No, I'm throwing it just.
Throwing
like,
it, yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, that's fine.
Like I would throw my spears, but with a rock. Better.
Yeah.
I totally missed. So 1d6 plus 4 or just 1d6?
Yeah, I guess. Well, because you have the thrown weapons, okay, I'll give you the +4 because it would be like you were doing it with the spear. So I'll give you that.
I rolled wonderfully.
So it was 5. That's okay. So you take a big chunk off of the statue, like off of its right shoulder, and there is nothing but in your mind you hear, "You are a fool. Take the gift." And that's all. Only you hear that in your mind.
It spoke to me. It said, I shall take the gift.
It just said you shall take the gift, like it's going to just forcibly give you the gift.
It might also have said that I'm a fool.
Well, it
said,
clearly doesn't
you
know what
are
it's
a
talking
fool. It said, you are a fool. Take
Reginald
the
totally
Offer me
in
your
Regina's gaze at that point. Just like.
And it's asking for prayers again. Maybe it's not. I mean, there are like automatons, you know, like not real things. Maybe this is an automaton.
Have you asked who it is?
I don't know. Muriel said it was
Who
very,
are
very,
you?
very old.
Who are you?
I am that which waits for your prayers, so I may give you a great gift.
I am that one waits for your prayer, so I may give you a great gift.
We smash it.
I am a silly sprite. No, he doesn't say that. Damn it. Okay. So, so you Are you? So, Ashflower, are you going to attack, or doing
Yes.
your? All right. With what?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Psychic.
Psychic. Okay.
Psychic. Yes.
Do you have a?
So I have the psychic skill. I don't have a focus though. Now I'd like to know.
Do you have like a psionic blast though? Are you able to? Wait a second.
Well,
This is-
I have a note on how to make a psychic attack. But
Yeah,
I can't
please tell
remember
me.
where I got it from. Well, as far as I'm aware, it's 3d6 plus wits, and 2+2 if I have a focus in psychic attacks. But I'm not.
It
100%
is.
certain I do.
There is a but though. You can only
Okay, there's
initiate a psychic attack against something that's non-corporeal.
Right. And I was just gonna say this thing does not have. Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I was trying to
Got
discern.
it.
Was there a spirit
Got
trapped
it.
in there or something?
So,
Well, that's
can,
not
can,
going to
can,
work, is it?
can I
Not until the
continue
statue's
with the
broken, at least.
Can I
Very
continue
true.
with the smashing? Seems to work fine.
Yes.
Can I continue? Okay.
I mean,
next rock.
you weren't struck down.
Apparently not. I very rarely am.
I was like, I don't really want to touch it.
Reginald starts making some notes in a notebook.
I also don't want to blunt my blade, and I don't think my blowgun is going to be much good against it. So you've got this rock situation sorted.
Evil statue did not murder.
Okay, go ahead and make.
I keep throwing stones at it.
So go ahead and make another test then. Same thing as before. The range.
Complete with attack and everything.
Yep.
Okay. 14.
Okay. You again hit it. Standard success.
7.
Okay. Another massive chunk basically off the front. It actually seems like it's, even more now crumbling. And then it says, "You fool. Pray to me and receive a great gift."
It's speaking again. It says, "Pray to me and receive a great gift."
I
And
would
the next stone.
vote continue to smash.
Okay. Go ahead. One more test.
Yep.
What gift?
Oh wait, I clicked the same thing twice. I think. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So the first one that
sorry.
hit. Did you ask
Yeah,
that, Reginald,
damage.
about what gift?
Yes.
So do you say that to her?
Out loud.
Okay. So you're still a little too far from it to interact with it, just so you know. If you wanted to move up closer, you could do that, but it's up to you.
I'll move a
don't
little
know what
closer.
gift.
Okay.
I don't know what gift. So what gift?
So when you say, and also it's now nearly like almost the face is about ready to fall off it after your latest stone, Regina. And so it says, "Pray and the gift you receive will be worth your while."
Pray and the gift you will receive will be worth your while.
And you actually heard that in your head too, Reginald.
Reginald at this point just says, "All right, smash it."
Okay, go ahead and make
Well
a test.
then, there we go with the smashing.
Just like, glad you're on board, friend.
15,
That will hit. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
10.
You fool pit. And then it just like the face comes off and the whole thing crumbles to dust. And in your mind, Regina, and in Reginald, you hear, "Fool." And then it fades away and is silent.
There we go. Now,
Reginald's sort of looking up nervously.
I have my hand ready for a psychic attack against incorporeal items.
Nothing seems to
I just like
occur.
any ghosts. Any
I hum
ghosts.
happily. Like under my breath, I hum happily like.
There's an uneasy few moments at this point.
Yeah, the feeling
No,
that you
only
felt,
for you.
though, Ashflower, does pass. You no longer feel that weight.
Oh, so there's no evil aura emanating
No.
from that space. Okay.
Reginald walks
Leave
over
that.
and starts poking the debris with his stick,
Okay.
which has now officially been used more than my scythe in this entire campaign.
So you sort of poke through it, but you find nothing else other than what Ashflower already found with that book. It's just a bunch of stone.
It appears that the essence that was emanating from that statue has now passed.
I'm not sensing any souls in the vicinity.
Excellent work, Regina.
Thank you. Smashing things, done. So, what's next? Oh, I was
Well,
looking.
we
I
have
was
a-
actually searching the room. Let's continue searching.
I
the
was
room.
going to say, yeah, this does all happen. Nothing else in the room seems to be of any particular interest, Regina, except for, again, the exits, which are the tunnel you came through, the hallway, which is open, the wooden door, which is now open, and you can see there's like a slick, damp stone passage sloping very steeply away from the door, and then this closed stone door that has these words, these runes around it on the frame.
I give the stone door a quick glance because that's for the intellectual people, and then I look down the slick corridor like, should I take a look? Should I take a look down there?
Possibly.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt.
I'm just worried and I point to Ashflower and myself, might not be able to get up so easy if
I'll
we
just-
go down.
Okay, I'll just very carefully fly a little bit into the tunnel.
I did motion over to the empty hallway. I'm like, what about this way?
I very carefully fly down the slick tunnel.
Which one? The
There.
slick
I'm going to
tunnel?
look down the hallway.
Okay.
The wet slick tunnel behind the wooden door.
When you
But
go
not
down
like,
this,
meow,
when you
but
go down
like,
this slick tunnel, Regina, you see that it goes only for a few feet, maybe a couple of meters or so, and then immediately abruptly ends. And you can see that there is a plunge on the other end of this passageway into what looks like a vast subterranean lake. And you can see that there's this lake that dominates the chamber. The waters are like go far into the distance, actually. And right below you, you think you can make out basically the shore, like what would be the shore of this lake that they would fall into. And there are many skeletons of creatures that are lying scattered along the shore. And you also see occasionally glittering things in the shallow water, like maybe glittering gold and stuff like that in the water.
Do I hear toads?
Make a notice test for me, please.
Let me guess, it's notice plus wits in this
You got
case,
it.
right? Because it's for senses. Ah, yeah.
It would have been a great water park moment, Saber. Just like right in.
12.
Yeah, the only thing you hear is the dripping of the sound of water dripping from above.
Okay, I fly back. I fly back to my comrades. You know what's down there?
Well, you
You
didn't
know-
die.
No, I did not die. But thank you. So, it's like a slippery slope, and then you drop into a lake and you die. And there are a lot of people who has that happened to, and they're all dead down there with all their stuff. And there's a giant lake and dead bones and all their stuff.
I definitely don't want to slide down there now if I'm just going to die.
So, not that way then.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work out for all the other people down there.
They may have seen the stuff and gone, oh, look, stuff. And then there was
Yeah.
sliding and falling.
Yeah, I get that. I know that feeling. Except for the sliding and falling feeling.
So
So,
under the door,
if we
then?
need stuff, the stuff is that way. With a lot of death involved.
I'd like to avoid as much death as possible, so maybe either having a look at the stone door or having a look at the open hallway.
Okay.
Reginald's looking down the hallway.
As you look down the hallway, you can see there is what looks like a little bit of maybe a stone, like a rough stone passage. If you had to guess, Reginald, from this distance, it looks like a rough stone passage, which eventually seems to lead to. You can't entirely tell, but there's a feeling of warmth. So there's damp and cold coming from the wood thing. We already talked about that. But there's a feeling of warmth, faint warmth coming, sort of emanating from down this hallway. And you can't really see beyond the edge of it. It looks like this might open up this hallway into another cavern, but you can't really see the details beyond just like the passageway and then the sort of darkness of the cavern beyond.
Looks like maybe something down here. It's a bit warm.
It's warm.
Well, warmer.
Huh.
I think, considering this one probably has better footing, we should maybe go down this one.
Why do we not open the stone door?
It's locked.
It looks locked.
Why do we not open the stone door? Is it like, seriously, you're like, oh, this is locked. We do not open this?
Well, it
How
may
would
be
you
locked
do it?
for a reason.
Well, I would pull it maybe, or I would push it, or I would see how it is locked. Maybe it's just like one of those things that you pull back and then the door opens or something. Or you need to turn the knob or something. Have anybody tried things?
Well, I haven't looked at the lock, so I don't know.
See?
Well, I actually did have a look at that, so I would have seen if it was like a bolt or something.
It does look like that. It's the kind of thing. It does seem to have a lock of some kind, which you could try to make an effort to deal with if you had a tinker test. It's basically the equivalent of pick lock. And if nobody has tinker, then you're out of luck with that. You could also try to force the door too.
You say we. Regina could try and force the door.
Okay.
Did you want to try and force the stone door?
Of course I will try to force the stone door.
What's your strength, Regina?
Why is this even a question?
Yeah, right.
4.
Your strength is
Oh
4?
wait, my strength. No, wait. Oh yes, 4. My strength is 4.
So you get down there and you're like, "Whoo!" and the door moves not at all. 4 apparently is not going to be enough. There is room on this door for other people to push or, push at it to get through it if you wish.
I'll try. I'll help.
Okay.
Yeah,
My strength is also 4.
Reginald's gonna flex, and you see his skin start to harden as he uses his light fates to invoke his anointed by oak, allowing him to swap around his stats. So he's going to use his resolve as brawn for this.
Ooh. So what do
So
we
that's
got
going to
for
give him a 5 brawn.
Okay, so 5 plus 4 is 9. Ashflower, what do you got? For
4.
brawn? Or strength?
Oh, for brawn.
For strength,
is
sorry.
Strength is 4. Strength
Okay,
is
so
4.
13. And then is Muriel going to help?
Yes.
We could let her rest.
Muriel has a strength of 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is she adding on to the rest
I'm
of
pretty
you?
sure Muriel is a very helpful person. I'm pretty sure she's gonna help.
I think, regardless of what the advice would be, Muriel would definitely help us.
Okay. It's a good thing because when you all reach in, it's going kind of creak. But when Muriel comes over and lends her shoulder to the effort, suddenly there's a and then you literally break the thing open and the door basically falls inward and goes and dust, this whole big thing of dust goes up. And inside here, you can see that there is a somewhat smaller than the one you're in chamber. And there are, you can see from here, sepulchres that are arranged in rows, 4 across and 3 high. You need to see more, you need to go into that. But to go into the room to see more. But definitely this is some kind of burial chamber or crypt that you've broken into.
You mean like a burial mound of stones?
No. A sepulcher in this
sepulcher.
particular case is actually like, almost essentially like sarcophagi type of thing.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like, well, they're not sarcophagi, but they're like coffins, basically, that are arranged. And
Okay.
they're arranged, they seem to be organized in particular rows, but again, you need to go in to see more.
Okay. So
There's no
Reginald's
doubt this is a crypt.
Reginald's got the special ability Spirit Sense, which means he can always sense spirits within 10 meters, even if invisible. Has this been triggered?
Well, how do I put this? Yes, there are definitely spirits you think within this chamber. They are not doing anything at the moment. They're just there. But yes, you think there are spirits in that chamber.
Yeah. Also related to that in that case.
I mean, this is kind of your wheelhouse, right, Reginald? So,
Yes. So related to that, I have the special ability Shepherds of the Dead, which lets me see spirits that are invisible to others, and I can treat them as one step higher attitude-wise towards me. So if they're hostile, they're one step above hostile, etc.
I got you. That you do not see right now. You don't see any spirits floating around. They seem to be almost in stasis, Reginald.
So I sense the souls of the dead.
Uh,
And I don't mean metaphorically.
How many do you
okay,
sense?
I back out.
They're not doing much right now, but, well, they shouldn't be here, and they are. Dead that don't move on. They can be a handful.
I just kind of look around slightly uneasy. I'm like, are there a lot of them?
Don't really know. Hard to detect numbers and the like. I can't seize them, though, which is a bit unusual.
You can't see them.
We ghouls, particularly those that tend to the dead, we have keen senses when it comes to the spirits.
We don't see any other exit to that room, right?
Not from here. You need to go into the room to see a little bit more, but not from here. You don't.
Nah, not going in there.
No, I'm not. I'm not comfortable going in this room.
Last time we had a thing with the graveyard. It all resulted in a big adventure. Let's not do
Yeah, I was kind of hoping this might be like the treasury.
It is the treasury of burial things.
No, not
Maybe
the.
the-
Not
The
the
souls ain't woken up yet. Maybe long as we don't take anything. Remember, the business in my graveyard started with the talisman being took.
yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
this
that's
entire
not a-
adventure started with a grave digger, didn't it? So with a thief. So let's
As long
not
as
do
you
that.
don't disturb the dead. Well,
Yeah, that's not.
Yep. So the stone door is definitely out.
We have the
The hallway
slip
or the
and
slip and slide.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, Reginald's
Okay.
comfortable enough going in there, but I don't think he's going to be able to convince the others.
Yeah, no, if you want to go and investigate in there, that by all means, that's definitely your
Yeah, no, I'm
comfort zone,
okay.
Reginald. But no, I'm not. It's not that I'm not comfortable around spirits of the dead. I am. It's just I don't want to make anything restless that I don't necessarily need to. I have no need
Wise.
to disturb their rest, so I'm not going to.
Just saying that they ain't been angered by us pushing down the door, so if it takes more than that, then they're probably fairly asleep.
Yeah. Well, their thread has come to an end already, so they have. I have no quarrel with them.
Oh, the thread doesn't end after death.
Well, we'll have another conversation about that another time. So, the slippery hallway or the non-slippery hallway?
Well, non-slippery sounds best to me.
I mean, that sounds like it's got better footing. But, Regina, you said at the end of the slippery hallway there was a large lake with shiny things in it?
Yeah, like
But
you
also a
slip,
lot of dead things, yeah.
Yes, you slip down the hallway. You fall down a hole into a lake that there deep below, which is a big lake, and there at the shore were a lot of skeletons with their stuff. So they might actually have made it to the shore and then maybe starved or killed each other or something.
We've had enough
Did you notice-
trouble with pits.
Yeah, I was going to say, if this... I got the impression that it was a case of that you slid down the slide, you slid down the tunnel, and you were like, I don't know, damaged or impaled on rocks when you hit the water, or
No,
that's
you
what
just-
I thought.
No, you go down the passageway, which just ends, and then you just basically free fall into the water. Now,
Yeah.
what is below the water, or like how shallow or
there's
deep the water
something-
is unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but the hole is some height
Yeah, it is
above
some.
the
Yes,
water.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And considering they're getting to the shore and then that's where their remains are, the assumption is there's either something on the shore or in the water attacking them. So
Well, then if something was in the water, they would have died in the water, I would guess.
possibly
So the water could be safe,
the
and the
water
shore
could
could be
safe,
poisoned.
or the water could be poisoned.
Let's try the
Because
whole
it's slow
way.
acting poison. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I think we should try the dry hallway rather than the wet hallway.
I also listened for toads and couldn't hear any.
Well, that's good. I think. I'm not certain.
So the toads still want us to take care of the goblins, right? Kobolds.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
we
we
might
do
not have
assume-
got all of them.
Yeah, maybe there's
This is
more than
very
5
true.
kobolds.
This is very true. Did he not mention a lizard?
But
Or
the
did he
kobolds are
mention?
lizards.
Well,
I reckon he was
I may be thinking-
trying to describe what they were dealing with.
They're all
right, I
scaly.
see. They are scaly, aren't they? I
Yeah,
forgot they were
Reginald
scaly.
did recognize them as kobolds from their description last time.
I remember that now. Thank you. Yeah, the dry hallway it is.
Yep. So Reginald's sort of
By
poking the
always.
floor ahead of him as he's walking up there
Okay.
with his stick.
As he walks through into the hallway.
Yeah,
And is it
yeah,
okay?
it's good.
And like as you're walking along, just sort of a quick marching order. So you're in front, Reginald. Regina. Then how? Regina, Ashflower, Muriel. Where are the three of you all placed relative to Reginald?
Thought it would be that order: Regina, then Ashflower, then Muriel.
Okay, perfect.
I assume anyway, unless Regina, you want to go somewhere else.
I could fly a little bit ahead, and then have the poke in Reginald.
That
yeah,
that's a good
seems
shout.
sensible because Regina does not trigger ground-based pressure plates, such as the
that's a
one
good
we've
point.
encountered already.
No, I
Yes.
just trigger other people.
Yep.
So you walk ahead, Reginald, and sort of poking ahead of you, and it gets increasingly dark. I do want to double check on who has the ability to see or not see in dark places. Does anyone have?
I think it's only Muriel that can see in dark places.
Okay. So is someone using a torch or lantern or something like that?
I
advisable.
definitely am. Yes,
Okay.
I definitely am. If it is dark and there's no additional light, I definitely would be.
Okay.
So I don't know about everybody else.
So as you're
I
poking
hold
ahead,
my speed.
okay, as you're poking ahead, Reginald, you get like you feel this sort of like rough stone click 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 click, and then there's a sort of the stick goes down further than normal, and you can feel it also doesn't make the same clicking sound. It makes a soft sound as if the stick has gone into something, and then you can see that you are standing above a fairly deep and quite large pit. And there is, to either side of you, a ramp, which basically like a ledge, which is about anywhere between 2 to 3 meters. So, what is that? 6 to 9 feet wide. That skirts around the pit to the west and to the east. So your passageway ends, and it goes to the west and the east. This ledge goes around this pit. And in front of you, the thing that you were poking turns out to be an earthen ramp, which descends into the pit. And as you look down into the pit ahead of you, the light illuminates, Ashflower's light just barely illuminates what looks like a bunch of green scales that are kind of slowly heaving up and down. And then as you look closer, you can see what looks like a number of large, scaly faces. And you think what you see are a number of what might be giant lizard-like creatures. But more troubling to you, Reginald, is that those dozen or so giant lizards are sleeping around and in some cases embracing or right next to large white objects. If you had to guess, these are giant lizards protecting a clutch of eggs. And right next to you on the wall, Reginald, are a set of 4 what look like kobold-sized harnesses and saddles. And in the pit down below, you can hear it appears that the lizards are asleep. The pit itself is warm, and you can feel the sort of the warmth rising up from the pit. And as you stand at the top, all of you looking down, you hear a scratching sound. One of the round white things, a spider-thin crack, appears in the top of it. And that's where we're going to bring our session to a close. So it's fine. It's just a bunch of lizards protecting eggs that might be hatching. No problem.
So,
No problem.
is there another way to go?
I love that you're like, so we don't go that way. So we don't also go, or that way, or that way. Look, it's fine.
So
There's
I'm
a
down
ledge
for the
around
slip
here.
and
You just
slide.
go around and it'll be fine.
We
I'm
killed
down
some
for the slip
kobolds.
and
Let's
slide.
say we go back and say job done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Killed some kobolds, smashed the statue. That was probably it.
The magic remains,
probably
you
it.
know. Good stuff. Yeah, exactly, Triffid. Back away slowly. Every place that you
away
go, you're like, back away from that. Also,
Honestly,
back
if
away
we
from
continued a few seconds more, like Reginald would have been like arms out and just like everybody back.
that. Yep. I pretty much assumed you were doing that. I love the visual of just you stopping them as they're about to be like this huge pit of eggs and lizards with a ledge that goes around it. Very good stuff today, and I really enjoyed watching the party go through. First of all, dealing with the combat with the kobolds. You guys are brutal when you're put to it, by the way, you folks. I mean, like, my heavens, like, just everything was just like Regina dead, Regina dead, Regina dead. Like, all these sort of one-shot hits, for one thing, and then also the attempted negotiation, which again, your negotiation skills were fine. It's just that these ones were clearly thought they got the drop on you, like ha ha ha, and then it turned out maybe not so much. And of course, figuring out how to sort of get through and find the magic that is protecting these kobolds from the Toad King's curse. That will be an interesting thing to see in our next session. First of all, congratulations again to Chai for the new arrival. Thank you so much for being a trooper, by the way, to Chai and sticking with us as long as she did. She went to get some well-deserved rest, so thank you, Chai. You folks should check out when Chai is streaming, and we will have Chai back with us next month for more Talisman adventures. But continued good luck and everything with the child and with the new arrival from Chai. Moving on up the column, Mike, this was good stuff to watch. Ashflower get involved. You did get some combat stuff done there. The negotiation about the planks and the was a lot of fun to kind of see that happen, and the deception. And they tried to out-deceive the deceiver, so to speak, but it ended up working out in the end. So it'll be interesting to see how Ashflower handles things going forward. How'd you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
As always, I absolutely love playing this game. I love playing with these people, and this group is just fantastic and amazing. I love playing for this community as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this session, and I think it's quite nice to be able to. I know it's taken a few sessions now, but I'm really getting used to some of the abilities and dice rolls that Ashflower needs to make, and like having other people on the team who can be like, you know, oh, actually, I think this rule says this and that rule says that. Super helpful, because this is a massive learning experience for all of us, because we've never played anything like this.
Very different kind of
always
system.
Really appreciative of that. As for myself, nothing's happening at the moment, but there is quote unquote big news, trademark symbol, happening probably in the next week or so. So keep your eye on social media, and also keep your eye on social media if you want to take advantage of any of my courses on the LinkedIn Learning platform. So there's some soft skill courses and some coding skill courses all around technology that I'm giving away for free. These normally drop for about $50 or about £30 a piece, but I'm giving them all away for free over the next few days. So probably sometimes this week and sometime next week as well, just to make sure that everyone gets proper advantage of it if they can. But that's pretty much it for me.
Good stuff, Mike. Always a pleasure, and we will, of course, see Mike back with us next week for Ghosts of Saltmarsh as well. Moving right on up the line. Saber, Reginald had the chance to do some stuff, too. There was not only, of course, with the helping of the door, but you also had a lot of decisions to make about whether these things were safe or not. It was interesting to me when you were dealing with the chamber that everyone's like, I don't want to go in there, and you're like, I mean, it's the dead, whatever. Like, I mean, what's the big deal? Like, this is like, it's fine. It's like not wanting to go into a restaurant. Like, you really don't want to go into a Chipotle? Like, it's a Chipotle. What's the problem? It's a McDonald's. Who cares? It's fine. Because obviously you wouldn't care about the dead. I was really enjoying the visuals of Reginald kind of looking around, deciding about what things were safe and not safe, and under what circumstances and for whom, and figuring out how to manage all of that. I did think it was interesting too. I wondered when you were like, what gift, if you're going to be like, and it was like this, and you're like, all right, then destroy it. Like, you're like, nope, I don't. Sorry, destroy evil
He
statue.
was being way too vague and just like basically, go on,
Don't
just
ask
do
questions.
it.
It's
Just,
a good
yeah,
gift. Yeah.
Just do it. It's totally great.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch that all unfold. How did you feel about today? And then of course your scythe, which got eaten, which you were like, oh well, I have a stick now. How'd you feel about today's session? What were the fun?
Well, yeah, the scythe was funny because
I couldn't believe it. I read that skill. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like they eat weapons.
That was a brilliant. And to be fair, I think the fact that it happened to me was probably most fortunate because literally everybody else relies on their weapon more, except maybe Muriel, but she was also out of spells. Whereas I've still got a couple left in the tank, at least until we get a chance to rest, although probably not in our current location.
What, above a lizard pit? It should be fine.
Yeah. I did find it funny how like every exit of that room had like one member of the party who was like, I want to go this way. So we've got like the slip slide lake, death lake, and Regina's like, I want to go down there. There's loot and stuff. And then there's like the crypt, and I'm like, there's some things in here. I might go see what they have to say. And everyone else is like, nope. It's like, it's fine. They haven't attacked us. We'll be fine.
You all could just split up and go in each room. I think that would be great.
Yeah. Well, we've got the lizard room where Regina can get her workout.
Right.
I'll be talking to some spirits. Well, actually, yeah, because it could be one or two directions for Regina. Yeah, it's like, oh, we've got a fight, or we've got loot. Why not both? It'd be interesting to see what happens next there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I will be back tomorrow here on the GOG channel, and I need to pick a game because two I've been waiting for have come out this week at typical timing. There's two that come out I really want to play, Sheltered 2 and City of Gangsters, two very, very different games, but both I've really been looking forward to, so I will be having to decide which one I'm going to be doing tomorrow for that, and I'll be back on Thursday on my own channel. Good chance of SnowRunner, but we might be back with Yakuza 3 as well. It's so addictive. It's so relaxing. Yeah, I can't praise it enough. Please try and get that game on GOG, peeps.
That would be pretty awesome. Oh, man.
Yeah.
The SnowRunner GOG game would be sweet.
Yes.
Good stuff, Saber. Thank you, as always, for doing all the things with the dashboard and MoveBot as well. And, of course, you will see Dark Saber back here next week for D&D with GOG, Ghosts of Saltmarsh as well. Speaking of creepy places that everyone's going into, we got a lot of that going on in Ghosts of Saltmarsh also. And last but certainly not least, Pyra and Regina definitely had an eventful session. First of all, Regina showing why she's the warrior there. Just like, strike, dead. I like the idea that the smug old kobold is just kind of like, drops over like Vizzini and Princess Bride. Because, you were pretty pissed off that they kept trying to poke you with spears and then deceived you and all this other kind of stuff. And then, of course, throwing the stone at the statue thing was really funny. Like, just hovering while everyone's doing their thing. You're like, now do I destroy it? Do I destroy it now? That was very funny to me. How did you feel about today's session, and where will the lovely folks find you next?
It's nice to have, like, the regular kind of enemies that I could actually poke with a stick. I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
It's like I said, I'm playing the fighter, and the warrior, and the warrior got to do warrior things, so that's wonderful. I am, as player and as character, really tempted about the whole lake thing.
I could tell.
Not so much afraid of the lizards, because they have riding equipment. They must be tame. We could ride a lizard.
Ride lizards.
That's my thinking. So, and people will see me next on Thursday, where I will most likely stream Spellcaster University, which is a game I picked up recently, and I was like, this is quite expensive for how it looks like. But people, it is so incredibly good and addictive. It is so worth the price, and I'm just going to show that game on Thursday.
Nice, I'm going to check it out.
Else happens, because it's this is a really good game. And I'm very happy to show that up on Thursday. So Spellcaster University it is.
Good stuff. And of course, you'll also see Pyron here back with us next week for Ghosts of Saltmarsh as well,
Yes!
as we
Which
continue.
we also have on YouTube.
Which is
Which we
also
also have
awesome.
on YouTube.
Oh, yes, and right. And also, don't forget that it has been showing up on YouTube. It's not only on my channel, but it is edited and specially all that kind of cool stuff by Pyron Jade
Yes.
on the GOG official channel. And thank you for those of you who have been checking that out. Please continue to do that. Thank you also for those of you who have been doing that. Well, I was about to make a snarky comment about people who have been commenting about the D&D part and not about other parts unrelated, but I won't do that. I'll be good. But thank you to all those who have been focusing on, who have been checking that out and spreading the word about it. And you may notice that there's been an increased focus on this channel as of late on tabletop stuff, which I am like, it's so difficult, it's so hard for me, chat, to have more focus on tabletop. How will I ever survive? I am incredibly happy about that, and Pyron gets a lot of the credit for that. But G&G in general, I think, has really been great in supporting us with this, and so we're grateful to them. And we hope that you will also help by spreading the word about this show, about Talisman Adventures. Again, thank you to Pegasus Spieler for sponsoring us. Also spread the word, of course, about Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and let people know about that stuff, because that is always appreciated. Thank you for following on my channel as well, because that's always appreciated, and we would love to get even more people in here. Also, one quick shout out as well to Pyron for getting me in, and to GOG for getting me a code for the Forgotten City, which I played for the first time the other day. That's really good, and I see why people like it. I see why it's gotten as much attention as it has. It is very, very solid. And I'm going to finish it. I played the first half of it roughly, and I'm going to finish it, either 1 or 2 sessions to finish it. It's nicely done. So if you get a chance, you can stop by, check out the VOD on my channel. I'll be playing that again in a few weeks. I don't know exactly when, depends on when time allows. But so thank you to GOG for doing that. And yeah, you got to spread the word and let me know. As far as Ghosts of Saltmarsh, yes, next week will be a new session to Timaeus live here on Twitch, but then you also can see those on GOG's channel, which Pyron is editing and posting up there. And you can also see, of course, the Storm King's Thunder audio stuff, thanks to our good friend Fleos, which is going up. A new episode of that just dropped today, and in that campaign, the crew just reached Bryn Shander. So this was after dealing with the Breakfast Nook and all that stuff. So that is, of course, a campaign which is over now, but you're getting to hear that in audio form while this crew goes forward and plays the next D&D session. So it'll be good stuff. But I had a wonderful time, as always, with these amazing players in chat. I hope you folks enjoyed it as well. So can we get some love for the amazing and awesome Pyron Jade, the amazing and awesome Darksaber2K, the amazing and awesome Peripheral Mike, and the amazing and awesome and super, like, trooperish, willing to do this, Tasty Chai. Congratulations again to Chai. Players, thank you so much as always, and I will see you folks all very soon. Bye for now. Alrighty. So that is going to do it for us today. I believe that we're done now on GOG until tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, where we have got tomorrow Wolfie Lore, who's going to be coming back at you with a game. But I do want to mention, for those of you who are curious, that I am going to be back on my channel in a couple of hours at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be back on my channel for our vocalists, my voice team, and we're going to be playing some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. This is always a blast. It is a very different feel from any of the tabletop things that we do. So if that sounds of interest to any of you and you want to laugh a lot and see some awesome voiceovers and things like that, definitely make sure to stop by and check that out. That'll be happening this evening, as I say, at 9 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, we'll be back with this crew that you just saw next week with On Pen and Pixels, with D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and then that will wrap us up for the month of September, and we will move on now that we are into fall officially. It's officially the first day of fall. We will move on into autumn and onwards, so I'm looking forward to that. Had a great time with all of you. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow us here on GOG.com. Please sub to us here on GOG.com, and please check out and follow and sub to our individual channels as well, because we've got all that awesome good stuff there, which would be lovely to have all of you folks if you can. Last and certainly not least, thank you to my wonderful players one last time. Thank you to Pyron Jade, to Darksaber2K, to Peripheral Mike, and to Tasty Chai. And next week, we will have all of those except for Chai. We'll see Chai next month. But next week, we'll have Ananda joining the other three. So it is going to be a good, fun time for all. That's it for me. Our vocalist is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on my channel, Triffid. But that's it for me. Much love to all of you, and I will see you folks here either next week on this channel or on my channel later this evening. Until then, thank you again to Pegasus Shield and Spiel, our sponsors. Thanks to GOG, and we'll catch you folks down the line. Everyone, be good to each other. Have a good night.